but Anthony Edwards is balling out. Chris Watkins, how you doing? I saw you on the course yesterday.
I was, yes.
How did that go?
Pretty good. Yeah, just did the light course, did the Bing Exec 9, and played with my girlfriend, did a little scramble. She hasn't played in a while, so figured we just kind of knocked the rust off of it, and it was great. You know, I got put behind. I will tell you, literally I made a mistake, and I guess maybe we can start this off with a fair or foul.
Okay.
I was behind the slowest group of people I have ever been behind. So much so at the 9th hole.
Yeah.
We had been going through it the entire time. They were 3 groups back. There was us. The group behind us actually skipped 8, went straight over from 7 to 9 because that had already gone so long.
Wow.
The group behind them then caught up with us from 7, 8, and then caught up with us at 9. I'm wondering if it's fair or foul because at the 2nd hole, we kind of all, our 3rd hole, we all kind of met up as there was a bit of a traffic jam. You know, and they were like, hey, just so you know, it was 3 different groups or 3 different carts. A couple of them had kids in it and whatever. They're
in front of you?
In front of us. And they were like, hey, just so you know, hey, you want to drink? Like, we're going to take a while, whatever. I'm like, no, it's all good. Like, we're chilling. It was 3 and then 2 kids. Like, one of them was probably near high school and had never played before. They were kind of using. And also, like, Bing is, the Exec 9 especially, is a little more of like a,
like starter
it's
type.
More of a start. That's the way.
You got to go somewhere.
Exactly.
Right?
And so I kind of understand, like, if you're going to use that on a Sunday after 12 as like a kind of, a little playground of sorts. But at the 3rd hole, I was like, oh no, it's good. Like, we're out here enjoying our Sunday. We don't got nowhere to go. Don't worry about it. And they took my kindness for weakness and absolutely abused it in the entire day. We didn't miss dinner, but it was 3 hours for, again, like a very easy 9.
Yeah, that's tough, but unfortunately,
I will never do it again. I'll tell you that. I will never, ever, ever say, don't worry, take your time, we're good, we got all
So you just say, we're going to play ahead.
Yeah, probably. Moving forward, I mean, I definitely think
that's
just the move.
Can't say foul because they did warn you.
They did, but like, how was I supposed to expect that? Like, I've played behind slow people before. It's another thing to literally not care at. Like, we are standing in the tee box and they are retrieving balls out of a ravine that has no water.
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. But no, you can't. If they give you the green light, because the thing is, you take the green light and then you slow them up and you're, my goodness.
Right.
I didn't tell anybody I was Rory McIlroy or Tiger Woods here, but in that situation, you would have been fine. Yeah, that's a tough one.
Tough.
That's a
the
tough
Marshalls, one. I'm sorry, love Marshalls. They always seem to be on my behind. I don't know where they were yesterday.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I kept telling her. She's like, should we say something? I'm like, that's kind of literally the Marshal's job. So I'm just going to let him cook, and unfortunately didn't cook. Yeah,
whenever it's very similar, to be honest. It's very similar to, not that I, get in a lot of trouble speeding, but it is very similar to when you see somebody speeding versus when you're speeding. You're speeding and your Waze is telling you there's a cop here, cop there, and then when you're just doing the speed limit and there's Vin Diesel behind you, where's the cop?
Where are they at?
Where is CHP? I don't understand it. It never ever fails. But yeah, whenever I'm behind, the screen says 2 minutes behind pace. Here comes the marshal.
Every time.
Hey guys, we're just trying to keep pace.
We got to pick up the pace here, guys.
Yeah,
gotta pick it up.
I'm like, oh really?
Oh, thanks. Well, how about the fact that we just teed off 2 seconds?
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah, wow.
It's
well,
great.
I hope you still
had a great
some
time.
fun out there.
Had a great time. Yeah, the weather was beautiful yesterday.
It was, and it's nice today too.
Overcast. I'll take it.
And the United States, they're having some fun right now with Australia, 53-37. You have Anthony Edwards, who kind of went crazy. Everybody was pumping him up. He's 3 for 5 from 3-point land right now, 4 for 7 from the field. Joel Embiid is 2 for 5, 1 for 1 from 3. LeBron James 2 for 4 from 3-point land. So they're having some fun with Australia. And Australia is not a terrible team.
No.
It's so funny when you say Australia's not a terrible team. Patty Mills,
Matisse Thybulle.
I'm pretty sure I saw Dyson Daniels out there
probably.
as well.
Yeah, Jock Lawndale I saw out there.
Yeah. So they got some guys. They got some NBA guys, but again, it's the depth for the USA team that is going to propel them.
Yeah.
And it's going to be really tough for any team to hang with them. Also, we hope that it's going to be hard for any team to hang with the Sacramento Kings. The question is, are they done making moves? You heard the interview with Monte McNair and our own Jason Ross straight from Vegas a couple hours ago, but we have clips from that, and we will react whether or not the Kings are done. Right now, Chris, based on the projections, Vegas essentially has, based on what it took to get into the playoffs this season, Vegas basically has the Kings fighting for, again, between that 6 and 8 seed. They don't have the Kings really doing much better than they were before. And it is interesting because I just never fired up a DeMar DeRozan trade. But when you do it in Fanspo or whatever it is, it does say how many more wins or losses. And let's say, for example, that crazy trade that I did, what was that, Thursday or Friday, where the Warriors got
Ayton, I think,
DeAndre Ayton, the Kings got Jeremy Grant, and the Blazers got a bunch of vets that they probably wouldn't want. In that situation, I believe Fanspo had the wins for the Kings going down, and that's with DeRozan. So I don't know what to make of that, but I'm assuming it's a same calculation or a similar calculation that they use to say we see the Kings around 47 wins or whatever it is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm very unfamiliar with the Vegas process of things, but I do know, and I'm sure you actually know better than I do, they tend to get it right, like scary right.
And that's why I don't like this at all.
Yeah, and so you said 46.5 they're set at right now.
That's right.
I mean, that was the mark last year, and I think that is super interesting, especially considering, like you said, I mean, it feels like the Kings definitely got better, but it feels like they definitely got better than a half game better. And so I think that's probably just, their predictions probably saying that the West is going to be as deep, if not even deeper, man. I mean, think about it. Like, you have teams like San Antonio who are now at least competent. And even then last year, they were giving people problems. Utah, I think, is interestingly choosing a direction. Houston, of course, is a team that wants to win games. So maybe it is just, hey, it's not even necessarily saying that the Kings are going to be a worse team or as good of a team, because if I'm not mistaken, I think I did the math and they're projected a 7-8 seed right now with the Pelicans. So, that's technically an improvement. I think maybe it's just saying that the West is again going to be incredibly difficult. And, I think that's a pretty good projection to have, because I think some teams, like the Clippers and stuff, lost a bit of their top end edge. But even then, a team with Kawhi Leonard, James Harden, all that talent, like they're still going to be formidable. So I'm reading that more as just like hey, guess what? West is going to be tough again. And, who knows if the Kings will be better or worse than they were last year. But I'll tell you what, the competition around them isn't getting worse.
So actually, it's set at 45.
45 and a half.
45. I'm sure you can find both, but I'm seeing
we need to hit up Brendan.
Yeah, 45 and a half. So, it says the 45 and a half win mark is tied for 7th highest in the Western Conference with Sacramento's kryptonite, New Orleans Pelicans. So they basically have the Kings in the same position they were in last season. And that could be the question, fair or foul.
Yeah, no thanks. Because the 7-8 matchup, if I'm not mistaken, puts us against the Pelicans yet again in a play-in matchup. And I'm good. I'm so good off that. I know that, ideally, I think hopefully Monte has made some moves this offseason with that specific New Orleans Pelicans matchup in mind. But I still, am very unsure of if we've solved that problem or not. That's definitely going to have to be I'll have to believe it when I see it. Last summer, me and Whitey did the bold Kings predictions for the season. You can't make a bold Kings versus Pelicans prediction until you see it. I just refuse to believe that the Kings have all of a sudden made up a ton of ground in that rivalry overnight. I'll definitely have to see that one before I believe it.
No, and Vegas doesn't think so either. Nobody does. Monte says the Kings are likely going into training camp with that core that they currently have. That's at 11 o'clock. We break down all things Monte McNair and what do you have to say with Jason Ross. That's at 11. Coming up next, we get into the NBA Cup groups. That's right, the in-season tournament. Which group did the Kings fall under, and whether or not it is the group of death. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
916-339-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Sun's out, deals out. That's right. Quick Quack Car Wash is giving you 25% off any car wash now through July 31st during their Summertime Shine event. Don't miss your chance to save. Also, text keyword BEAM, B-E-A-M, to 916-339-1140 to enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. That's at 12 p.m. That is at 12 p.m. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. I'm refreshing this here, Chris, with the USA, Team USA, what they got going on. It is now 64-41.
Sheesh.
So, yeah. Here are the players for Australia, by the way. Dyson Daniels, Nick Kay, Jock Landale, Patty Mills, and Josh Giddey.
Oh, there you go.
Dante Exum.
Okay.
Josh Green, Duop Reith, Matthew Dellavedova.
Duop Reith, huh?
Deli's still hanging on.
Yeah, I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
I was like, I wonder if he's like playing still for them. Is he just kind of
played 0
mascotting?
minutes.
Yeah, okay. That's kind of what I feel.
And Joe Ingles.
Jingles. There you
Played
go.
0 minutes.
Yeah, it feels like that Australian run, like maybe it was just kind of like a golden generation thing where, you know, they kind of had their, the Giddey, the Jingles, all those guys, the Patty Mills, all that stuff. And, you know, because there was a point where people were, Ben Simmons was coming out of Australia. You know, Kyrie technically is born in Australia.
I completely forgot about Ben Simmons.
And, like there was a big push that like, hey, I know a lot of people talking about Canada, but them Aussies, they're going to be a problem. And, kind of seems like, they've fallen off a bit. I don't even know if Matisse Thybulle is really playing for them anymore either.
Yeah, he's not.
Pretty sure he got cut from the team. So not looking too great for the Aussies. At one point, it was looking like they were going to be like a real world problem. And I know their league has taken off pretty well. Obviously, LaMelo, Dyson Daniels has come through that league, but I think Alex Sarr was actually just playing in the Australian league as well. But doesn't seem like the national team is quite taken off how they hoped.
Well, I definitely think that they kind of had their time in the sun. Yeah. And I mean, they never had the huge, well, it was supposed to be Ben Simmons. And then when Ben Simmons fell off, they just have a bunch of scrappy guys. Yeah. Right. It's just team scrap. Yep. You got the Delis of the world, you got the Patty Mills of the world, and they just go to St. Mary's and they hang out in Moraga, and then they go to the league and they're just hard nosed, and that's about it.
Yep, pretty much. That's the exact route they take. And I guess you're right. Like they really are just missing the Ben Simmons because Greece isn't good, and Serbia isn't great. It's just that they have this one shining object that they can say, hey, we're gonna beat China because they don't have anybody that's nearly as good as this. And then, like you said, I mean, when you round out the roster with all these gritty NBA vets, like that could have been a really sick team. But obviously Ben Simmons just kind of Ben Simmons. And I wonder actually if he must have chosen the U.S. as his nationality, because I can't imagine, even in the state he's in now, I would imagine he's still probably making this.
That man don't want to play.
Right? That must be it. Seriously.
I mean, come on. Don't get me started on Ben Simmons.
It would be good. I mean, could you imagine if we had a Ben Simmons Olympic run right now? Like what that would do for his mental, maybe for his PR. Like, yeah, that it's just like, how is he not playing these games? Like, this is the exact kind of environment he should play in.
But that's if he cared and or enjoyed basketball, which he doesn't for either.
No,
he wants to go to Wimbledon.
Exactly.
He wants to go to where's Simone? What's that fashion thing they do every year?
The Met Gala.
The Met Gala.
Yes.
That's what he wants to do.
First week in May, baby.
Yeah. Jason Derulo has fallen down the stairs at the Met Gala.
Ben Simmons dropped him.
That's what Ben Simmons wants to do. He doesn't want to play basketball. All right, Chris, but these guys want to play basketball. The NBA Cup groups have been announced, and there was some. What was that? I saw your boy Chet Holmgren. They were hosting some NBA Cup
weird
reveal show.
Yeah, it was really weird. You know, like we were saying in the crosstalk, they're trying to make the summer league into like this NBA. I think it's NBA Con is what they call it, which is crazy.
I like that.
It just makes it sound like it's a con. I mean, it's NBA Con. It's
like, but if you're listening and you're not familiar, Comic-Con, Sneaker Con.
For sure. Yeah.
It's supposed to be like that, but I get it. NBA, we're conning you into more money.
Exactly. And there was nothing wrong with just calling it Summer League. So yes, they did it as a part of their NBA Con festivities. And it was not Justin Jefferson, Richard Jefferson, Chet Holmgren, and I think Jaren Jackson or something random like that to tell us. And the worst is when it's like, hey, Jaren, like, so Memphis just got put in that group. What do you think about the group? And it's always, like we like our chances, but those are a lot of good teams in there. And, we're just going to have to put our best effort forward. And, the NBA is doing a great job with this thing. So just excited to get out there and can't wait for the balls to roll out.
That's literally what they say.
It's the worst. I could be a PR. I could definitely do PR for somebody for sure.
You think they write them and say, hey, this is what you say if they ask you this?
I think so. I think it's some version of like an email or at least briefing before.
Yeah, here are the lanes that you stay in.
Yeah, don't say, these guys are weak. I'm not scared of the West.
Or that you don't care.
That'd be nuts. The Kings got put in a fairly, I think for all intents and purposes, I'd call it a fairly easy group that they're in. So, I'm excited. I think the first year was pretty decent. And I think, I think it'll only get more and more exciting as the years go on. It feels like, after kind of getting a taste for it this year, I know it'll be interesting to see how they attack it because clearly winning the in-season tournament didn't do anything for the Lakers.
That really hurt the NBA.
Yeah. I wonder how much people are going to put an effort in, like a full effort into this. Mm-hmm. But it should be fun. It should be fun. Kings are in a group with Minnesota, the Clippers, the Rockets, and the Blazers. And, I think obviously, the Timberwolves stick out. And it depends on what you feel about the Clippers. I mean, if you think the Clippers are still going to be that pesky 4 or 5 seed, then you could argue it's a pretty difficult group. Only 2 teams make out of it. But if you feel like the Clippers took a major step back with Paul George being out, I think the Kings are pretty clearly one of the top 2 teams in there if you feel that way. I don't think Houston's ready to take that leap. We know Houston was a big problem for Sacramento, but I just fully believe that the Kings are a better team than them. And I think they're a better team than the Clippers too. And even looking at how the schedule lays out, the fact that the Kings get the last game at Portland, I think is a really, really big, piece for them because, that last game could mean everything. And the last thing you want is for that last game to be the toughest one. So definitely should be interesting to see if the Kings can make it out like they did last time. Hopefully they don't play the Pelicans.
Yeah, and speaking of the group of death, this is the West Group C. The Nuggets, the Mavs, the Pelicans, the Warriors, and the Grizzlies. I don't want any part of that.
I honestly, is it crazy to say I think the Warriors are like the favorite to be last in that group, I would think, right?
The Warriors are the worst team in that group.
I think so. Like I think the Grizzlies are going to be better. I think they're going to be more entertaining for sure. I think that we've seen the Pelicans, Mavericks, obviously.
I saw some Ja videos a couple days
Really?
ago.
Oh, I think I saw a video of him dunking the other day.
That's the same video I saw.
Yeah.
People sleeping.
His legs look crazy with his torn labrum.
What's up with these Is this baseball? What is up with all these labrums in basketball?
I have no idea. I looked into it before the show today, and there's a lot of torn labrums out there. It's really, really interesting. I have no idea what it's about.
And speaking of, Chris does have a lot of information coming up as far as other players that have torn their labrums and how they have bounced back. But coming up next, Mike Brown and his conversation about DeMar DeRozan that he had. What type of fit? Is Mike Brown worried about the spacing? Come on. Mike Brown knows what he's doing. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out sacktownsports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on sacktownsports.com.
Hot summer savings now at Meta Chevy with $12,000 off MSRP on every new Silverado half-ton Turbo Max in stock after rebates.
$12,000 off every Silverado LT Turbo Max at Meta Chevy with at least 5 at this price.
Hot summer savings up to $12,000 off MSRP exclusively at Meta Chevy at MetaChevy.com. Sacramento Silverado headquarters. Together, let's drive.
Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. Must trade in 2010 model year or newer and 7/31/24.
Made a great deal of Meta.
Catch some Aggie football this fall and save money while doing it. Grab one of our all-new mini plans and save up to 40% off single-game tickets. With our can't-miss home slate of games this season, you can pick 82 games for just $60 or any 3 games for $75. Pick the games that fit your schedule and come support the Aggies on their quest for a Big Sky championship. Mini plans can be purchased by calling the ticket office at 530-752-2471 or online at ucdavisaggies.com/tickets. Go Axe!
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Ooh, ma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very
calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
The NBA app is everyone's app. Every fan of every team.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone who follows LeBron, Tatum, and Embiid in the app. Every warrior who's ready to go to battle over 3-point percentages. Every streetwear king who's here for the tunnel fits. Every young buck, nugget, and grizzly who wants to take a peek behind the scenes of the league. And everyone else on this floating basketball we call Earth. Download the NBA app today. Available in the Google Play, Apple app, and Android stores.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Mike Brown sat down during Summer League and had some things to say. He was asked a couple questions, and one of them was about DeMar DeRozan's fit, which has been a hot topic here because DeMar DeRozan, more of a mid-range guy. Will there be spacing issues? Does he need the ball too much? De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan. What was that metric, Chris? It was they held on to the ball for the longest period of time per possession. They were right next to each other in that. Well, you know what? They also were 1 and 2 in clutch points. Okay, so let's focus on those type of things. But here is Mike Brown on DeMar DeRozan's fit on the Sacramento Kings.
Malik Monk goes down with a month left in the season and put a lot of pressure on Fox to go get it, especially down the stretch, and to have a guy, a veteran guy that has seen a lot of defenses thrown at him, from double teams to triple teams to boxing ones, and that, you name it, and him still be able to have the production that he has had is somebody that we felt
would help our guys tremendously. And doing that, too, the way we play with the movement and all that other stuff, we felt it could help his game as well. Because now, he doesn't necessarily have to hold on to it and iso it and go get it all the time. He's going to be able to get it off of movement. He's going to be able to get it off of DHOs with Thomas and whoever else. And so I think it's a pretty good fit.
It's interesting because you think of I usually think of him as an ISO player because that's what he's so good at.
Right.
And ISO mid-range in particular in a day and age where nobody wants the mid-range. That's what all the mathematicians tell us. So does your mind immediately go to work in terms of, okay, we've got him. Now how are we going to make this work? How are we going to operate?
100%. And I even told him, I said, hey, you know what? When we play against you guys as a head coach, I'm watching one game for sure, maybe a second game, and then you're just diving into the scout report a little bit. So you're not really studying one guy. And so I said, hey, I thought you were just a catch guy on the wing or on the block, and you ISO'd or even at the elbows. I said, watching you more now, you're playing a lot of pick and roll. Not only that, you're coming off with DHOs. You're bringing the ball in transition, And so to be able to see those things after diving into the film on him, it gets me excited because those are things that we do. Our 1-4 are interchangeable, so anybody can bring it. But we play through Domus a lot.
Yep.
And so coming off of Domus's DHO is going to be beneficial for him and for me and for us, like I said.
You look at your team and
so I think that was just really great stuff because, again, just being completely honest, and a lot of people aren't completely honest on how much they watch DeMar DeRozan, right? And this is why we say, hey, when teams make moves, it's not that as a fan you can't have an opinion. Of course you can have an opinion, but I do always find it interesting when you trust your team. And look, teams aren't always right. Front offices aren't always right. If they were, then a lot more teams would have championships. We get all that. But to make this move with the confidence that they made it with, you had to believe that they believe that the fit will work and that they did their due diligence. Okay. If you trust that the front office and the coaching staff do their due diligence, then you should feel confident about this. And hearing Mike Brown talk about the fit and talk about, hey, I actually saw how much he does do similar things to us, but to the naked eye, it might not appear like that because when you're watching Sports Center or highlights, whatever it is, it's DeMar DeRozan doing other things. So it makes me feel even more confident about the fit and how DeMar DeRozan is going to be able to help this team.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for them to suit up, man, because I completely agree with Mike. Like I just was surprised by, well, I guess Mike said he watched and then was himself surprised by it. But the amount of people who I think are like, I think that's Brian Anderson on the call who said, I think of DeMar DeRozan just as an ISO play. Like, I swear people have it in their minds that this guy is 2001 Allen Iverson and he just doesn't pass, or he's Kobe Bryant in the mid 2000s. And I think I don't even think you really have to, watching his game, of course, you'll see it even more so, but you even just look at the numbers. Like, he's been 5 assists per game since he got to San Antonio. Since really leaving Toronto, which has been a good portion of his career now. And he's been that guy ever since. He's been a big playmaker. He's not somebody who is just holding the ball and ISOing. The reason why he had the ball in his hands as much as De'Aaron did is because he was their point guard. He was essentially the guy that brought the ball down the floor for them and set up all their offense. But he was not a ball hog. He was not an isolate. I mean, he is great in isolation, but he is not just solely an isolation player. And I just can't wait to see him off of those dribble handoffs, like Mike said, getting into action off of pick and roll, because I do think DeMar and Sabonis, I think that's an elite pick and roll combination. I just can't imagine what you're going to do. Of course, neither of those guys can necessarily shoot the 3 ball, but with DeMar playing the mid-range game, he can get off that screen and immediately take the mid-range. He can drive the paint. He can get to the rim. He can then dish it off to Sabonis. I just think of everything that we saw last year with Malik Monk and Domas. I think that it's going to be that and then some with DeMar, and then you add to that the Malik pick and rolls as well. I just think that this team clearly got better on the offensive end, and I feel like people honestly aren't their minds haven't fully wrapped around how good this Kings offense is going to be and how much that's going to alleviate all the other questions and problems that people have. Of course, there'll still be some defensive issues, but I think we're not really going to think too much about it because the offense is going to be so much fun like it was 2 years ago.
Well, and that's why when you have these kind of national talking heads bringing up what DeMar DeRozan doesn't bring to the table or what is missing, they just spent the last couple of years saying that the Kings weren't good enough. You know what I mean? And saying that the Kings needed to do something. They needed to improve. So then they do something, and all of a sudden it wasn't the right thing.
Right.
A lot of times, and it's the same thing when we talk to some of our listeners when they say, when they have a trade proposal or something like that, well, would the other team want to do this, right? If every Kings fan would do this, that's probably not a great trade, right? Because it's not as realistic. So to say, but you don't have other options, right? You just say, well, I don't think that's right. So when you talk to some of the national people that have said, well, the Kings didn't get better, or they need to do this, or they didn't do that, what would you have liked them to do? Because if they gave up their we'll get into the trade market at 11:30 and how the price tags are just ridiculous right now.
Yeah.
Well, when you hear what the Jazz want from the Warriors for Lauri Markkanen, okay, you want to give up a version of that if you're the Kings for Lauri Markkanen, then you say, no, well, that's too much. Okay, so what exactly is it that you want them to do? Right. So the Kings went out and they got better. They upgraded a position that was not something that the Kings could depend on each and every night. Okay. That's what you're supposed to do. Does it make them title contenders? It makes them closer than they were. So in my opinion, that's a good day at the office. That's it. That's it. And how all this looks ultimately, we'll see. But what we all knew here in Kingsland is that they could not roll out that same starting lineup. That was the number one priority. There was two, 1A and 1B. Bringing Malik Monk back, which was honestly out of your control. Right? You did that. And make the starting lineup better. You did that. It's that simple. Don't overthink this, people.
No.
Don't overthink it.
100%. And I mean, you can throw signing Mike Brown on. I mean, and we talked about it the other day. Like, I really do think, it might not be 100% perfect in terms of the DeMar DeRozan was the exact player that I thought they were going to add. But to that point, like, every single thing that has been a priority for this organization this offseason, they have checked that box already. They have already gotten Malik Monk taken care of. They already got Mike Brown re-signed. I guess you could say the only thing is De'Aaron Fox not getting the extension, but clearly that was out of their hands. It was never going to happen in the first place. You get a big talent acquisition. It might not be the one everyone was hoping for, but it still is. Nonetheless, you can't deny a big talent acquisition. And you figured out Davion and Sasha. And it's unfortunate that it had to lead to them leaving. But I do think that those were the biggest questions in terms of the personnel that was already here was, hey, Sasha Vezenkov was a really big addition this past offseason, and it didn't work out during the regular season. What are we going to do? Are we going to trade Trey Lyles and free up that Sasha spot? Are we going to give Sasha a new opportunity? Is he going to go leave? That situation obviously got handled. And then Davion Mitchell was about to enter the final year of his rookie deal. You had to figure out before you get to that actual 100% decision, you had to mentally get prepared for that decision. The Kings take Devin Carter and then they let go of Davion Mitchell. I can't see a thing in which you could say, okay, going into this offseason, the Kings had to address this. You can maybe say defense. I would definitely give you that. But besides that, I don't really know in terms of tasks that the Kings needed to take care of. I don't really know what they didn't do this offseason, and there's still plenty of time left. And I know we have the audio of Monte saying that they're done, but he's mainly saying with the core, like there's still a couple other moves. There's 2 roster spots that need to be taken care of. I feel like this Kings team is in a really, really good situation. And I think that to your earlier point as well, a lot of these people going into this situation have said the Kings aren't getting it done. The Kings aren't where I want them to be. And it feels like they're kind of bringing that bias into how they're viewing the team now. And I just think everybody else, everybody feels good about where Memphis is going to be next year. Everyone feels good about the direction San Antonio is going. Obviously, Minnesota, OKC, everyone's going to have better feelings about them because they had good feelings about them going into it. Everyone had bad feelings about the Kings, and they're just continuing that and not releasing from that take, really, I guess.
It's, oh, well, their market can't do in that market. You can't do X, Y, and Z. Okay, well then this is the best we can do. Oh, well then that's not good enough either, right? You can't have it all.
Yeah, we can't win here.
And you could make the argument, and we did this last week with the Western Conference, who's having the best offseason.
Yeah.
And you put the Kings up there. I don't know if the terminology would be pound for pound,
right?
But it would money for money, whatever you want to call it, right? Based on the reality of their situations, you could make the argument the Kings have had a top 2 best offseason. If you want to put the Sixers there, I would say bigger market, and we knew that they had a ton of money to blow. Okay, so if you want to put the Sixers number 1, fine. Sure. But besides that, based on the situations that they were in going into the season, you cannot sleep on, because this is what happens in Sacramento. The Malik Monk thing was huge.
Massive.
It was the Magic. Yeah. It was the Sixers. It was the Jazz. It was the Pistons.
Everywhere
it was
but here.
Everywhere. And then you resign them, and now it's crickets.
Crickets. Completely crickets.
Now it's not that big of a deal.
Business.
Good
job.
Hometown discount. Whoopee. Malik Monk. We don't know what he's going to be. He's only been good for 2 years. That's how quick it changes.
It's crazy.
So that's huge.
Yeah, massive.
Nobody thought Malik Monk was coming back.
Just that would have been good. Just that would have been massive.
Yes.
And then they add DeMar DeRozan on top of that.
So, it doesn't matter what they think nationally. We know what it is here, and the Kings are going to prove it when this season comes around, because 45.5, that's disrespectful.
Come on, Sing.
And I know De'Aaron saw it. I know DeMar DeRozan saw it. DeMar DeRozan didn't come here to win 45 games. No. I'm going to tell you that right now.
No.
I'm going to tell you that right now.
No.
And they'll get it done. They'll get it done. All right, coming up next, Euro Cup and Copa. Who got it done between Spain and Argentina? I think both of them did. And 11 o'clock, Monte McNair gives an update on where the Kings are roster-wise, what that core is going to look like. 11 o'clock, then we react, then you react. 916-339-1140. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water reel.
The wild-eyed Southern boys are back. 38 special. Rock it into the night. Friday, July 19th at 7:30 at the venue at Thunder Valley. With Lou Graham, the original voice of Foreigner. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. Don't miss 38 Special Live.
Big O Tires proudly sells our own brand of innovative, newly designed tires, like the Bigfoot AT2 with improved all-terrain traction, and the Legacy All-Season Plus that keeps you on the road in any weather, with every set backed by our ProTech Plus warranty.
And right now,
Get $80 to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Big O brand tires with installation purchase. Now through July 28th. Big O Tires, the team you trust. No carry-ons, not valid with other offers. Eligibility may vary. Disposal fees extra and shop fees extra where permitted. See store for details.
Hey, what's up, Sacramento? It's Kyle Draper. Turn up the cleanliness at your restaurant, healthcare, or industrial business with Alsco Uniforms, the official sponsor of the Sacramento Kings Mop Crew. We've got you covered with crisp uniforms, hygienically clean linens, floor mats, and of course, mops delivered weekly. But that's not all. Alsco Uniforms also offers weekly services for first aid and restroom supplies. Discover why it pays to keep clean with Alsco Uniforms. Just go to alsco.com to learn more. Again, that's alsco.com.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
The Euro Cup, Copa America. I mean, where do we start, Chris? Obviously, England unable to get it done. Spain gets it done. And Argentina, Colombia. Can we talk about what went down in Miami?
Man, yeah, we can. We definitely can. It was, I mean, it was almost like apocalyptic scenes out there. It looked like, we only have a certain amount of room at the inn here, and people were.
And people with tickets didn't even get in, some of them.
That's the craziest part about it. Yeah, I saw a video. I mean, who knows how accurate it was, but I saw a dude up at the fence telling some reporters, I paid $2,000 per ticket to get in here, and they're not letting me in. For those who don't know, I mean, the Copa America final yesterday, actually, between Colombia and Argentina, there was, I don't even know how to describe it, a mob of people who were they successfully got into Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, just essentially by forcing the gates. I mean, they charged the gates and forced their way in, and there was probably, just from the videos, multiple thousands of people got in unticketed, and there was videos of people literally sneaking in via what were those air ducts?
Oh,
I don't know.
Ventilation system.
The ventilation system. There's videos of multiple people climbing on each other's shoulders to get into the stadium. So that definitely feels like the place to me to start, because it looked, not only how it looked, but the fact that this country is hosting a World Cup in 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. And, this is going to, now, obviously this is for a final, but those games are obviously going to carry a certain amount of weight, and it's going to be from as rampant of fan bases as Argentina and Colombia are. That's pretty standard in terms of how everyone else feels about their soccer. So, it just makes you a little bit nervous. And there was also the situation that happened at the Panthers Stadium in Carolina as well. There was something that went down there. Just not a great look, I think, for America, who's supposed to, just a rough week for American security in general.
They were, from what I read, they were trying to say it wasn't really an indictment on, Hard Rock Stadium, because obviously they do stuff all the time, national championship,
Taylor Swift concerts.
Things, and they'll climb if they can find a way in. They find a way in. So people were trying to say it wasn't necessarily about where they were; it was more so about who was in charge of the security that go round. But something definitely has to give, because that was a terrible look. And to take it there, a lot of people said, look, if people are able to sneak in, that means they're not getting checked for anything,
right? Yeah, that's
weapons.
a good point. Yeah.
So that is a nightmare.
Yeah. That's way too many people.
It's way too many people.
And that's why it got delayed, right? I mean, I was so confused expecting it to start a certain time. I'm over here texting Verlot, and the broadcast keeps kicking it back. And I was like, what is going on? And I had to find out through social media that all of this, security negligence was going on.
Crazy. Yeah, I think it got delayed like an hour and a half or something crazy like that. They didn't end until midnight. Yeah. It was crazy. So I mean,
it was a great match though.
It was great. Yeah, it was phenomenal. Goes into extra time, and Messi goes down, and Harry Kane went out in the 60th. I mean, he went out in the second half. And I don't know if you saw the pictures of his ankle.
Yes, it looked like a small watermelon.
Yeah. So definitely unfortunate that Messi couldn't be on the pitch as they win, but definitely a huge win for Argentina. They now won, I believe, back-to-back Copas, and obviously took the World Cup as well the other year. So they're on a crazy run right now, and definitely was a great win for that. For that country. And I think that's going to be Messi's last time probably suiting up in a major tournament for Argentina. Wow. Angel Di Maria as well. So it was big for them to get that win. But you also saw Messi crying on the side. That was pretty tough to watch, I would imagine. Yeah, all those emotions and all those thoughts kind of going through his head. But yeah, what a run for Argentina it's been here. And yeah, Spain definitely wasn't expecting them. Well, I mean, I guess once that game was kind of chalked up, I figured England would find a way to lose, but going into the tournament, definitely would not have expected Spain to come out as champions.
Can I guess something as far as you're concerned? Because I know you're into soccer definitely more than I am. I'm going to guess that because Argentina scores and we were really close to getting penalty kicks, I'm going to guess that most soccer purists prefer the game to end like that, one goal towards the end and not get the penalty kicks.
Yeah.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
I would assume that.
Yeah. A lot of people are not fans of penalties. A lot of people feel like, I mean, I don't really know where I fall on it, because I'm a bit in between casual and like big soccer. I'm somewhere in between there. And like, I like the entertainment value of PKs, but I understand that it's just way too random.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't necessarily show, and it'd be like if we ended games on a free throw contest or something. Like, hey, here, everybody gets 10, and whoever makes the Kings ain't winning those.
45 and a half would be safe.
under.
Yeah, do not do that.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not super against PKs, but I definitely understand like how it's like, okay, we played 120 minutes and then we're just gonna essentially do who guesses right.
Should have scored.
Yeah. I that's kind of how I feel too. Is it's like this thing just went on for 120 minutes. Let's just get an end. Can we just get some sort of resolution?
Their bodies were on. Done. They were exhausted.
They were done.
And they were dripping in sweat too with all the humidity. Yeah. I was just feeling like
looked like some baseball jerseys
person
out there.
And then somebody was saying, or I was reading something about, I guess the field being, or it got watered, or it was too wet after the Shakira performance.
Oh my gosh, that makes sense too, because they have to like kind
and
of
that's when Messi
maintain
got hurt.
The grounds, right? And Messi's been very, very particular. I think that ground is fine for him, but he's been very particular about the turf that he's willing to play on, because there's a lot of thought that it can definitely raise the chance of injury.
Did you see the Shakira performance?
I did.
What'd you think?
She's still got her fastball.
Yeah.
I'm not really like the biggest Shakira music fan, but yeah, I think she's definitely, she looks great. She's still performing out of control, and I'm pretty sure she lip synced that entire time.
Shakira is still Shakira.
She sure is.
Simone, did you see it?
No, because I was caught in that cycle where it was on FS1 and then it went to Fox. So then and then it was still
for the dog show.
Yes. I came back and I was like, what's going on? I was stress cleaning all
Don't
yesterday.
sleep on Westminster.
It's a great show. It's a great show.
Those dogs be cooking.
They're awesome, but I would never
what?
Like groom a dog like that. I could never be in like that show.
You need a cat
business.
one.
A cat one?
Yeah.
They wouldn't participate. That's the problem. I mean,
you
that
get
maybe
one to do
exactly,
anything.
Exactly.
It's a very low bar. It's a very quick show.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a quick show.
Which cats don't run immediately.
As USA is trying to make quick work of Australia. Australia brought it within 6, and USA is really trying to stretch out that lead again. 92-81 with 2 minutes left. Josh Giddey just missed a free throw. But they're going to mess around, and teams are going to get close, but there's just too much depth, man.
It's just too much. I mean, there's just no excuse for them to lose. And this is even without KD as well. Like, they don't even have their best weapon. I don't think Derek White has played any games for them either. So they're still without 2 really, obviously KD especially, really important pieces. And, I've been a little unimpressed by the other competition that's out there. I know Funny enough, Spain is supposed to have a really good club again this year. Obviously, Serbia's and
who's headlining the Spanish team?
I have no idea. I was trying to figure that out too. I was like, why are they so dangerous? I don't know, but I think they're number 2 now. Thankfully, the Gasols are done, and I think Ricky Rubio's done too.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty sure Rudy Fernandez is also
who is headlining
but
that?
I'm pretty sure they're number 2 in the FIBA World Basketball rankings. I can check on that real quick, but yeah, there's really France obviously is going to be a really tough test.
With France makes it Salty Aldama. When I search Spain, Salty Aldama.
I'm looking at the world rankings right now in terms of FIBA. These came out in February. USA obviously number 1, number 2 is Spain, number 3 is Germany, number 4 is Serbia, and funny enough, number 5 is Australia.
Yeah, you got to get that. You got to get that gold.
Yeah,
what are we talking about?
And then Latvia is number 6, and that's where they have Kristaps Porzingis.
That's
Canada's
their guy.
7, but I think it's because they haven't really played with their full team. France is number 9.
So they will not be number 9 when this thing is all said and done. They will be much higher than that.
Yeah.
Coming up next, we hear from Monte McNair, who says the Kings are likely going into training camp with this core. But what does the word core mean? We play the audio, we react, you react. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
18 number 1s. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, I love you just the way Dasha, Kelsey Hart and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by McKee Brothers Plumbing, Rooter, and Heat, and Dawson Oil Company.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt power tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools and better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API speed test limits.
Lead generation is one of the most important aspects of any marketing campaign. Let us help you identify your target audience and market your products or services to them. Go to aimyourdigital.com today. aimyourdigital.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento, the only station in Sacramento giving you local sports coverage from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Sacktown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
18 seconds to go as Australia is going to do a little bit of fouling. They are down to U.S. It is 94-87. And Chris, I have here, I got this bucket list going, and you got me thinking here. Because for those listening, Chris likes to mess with me. All right. Because I got some big dreams, man. And I really want to be a part of one of these celebrity situations. and the goal is I gotta be on one of these celebrity events before I kick the can.
Right.
And the basketball situation, obviously that would be great. But we're looking here at this all-star softball game that they have before the Major League Baseball all-star game and the festivities. And some of the people I'm seeing here, I'm thinking, Chris,
that could be you.
I gotta get to this game, man.
This is
actually ticking me off.
This feels
now.
like the one for you, for sure.
It has to be.
This is MLB.
Yes.
You got the All-Star. They got King Batch out here, bro. Come on. What are we talking
about?
Man,
wilding out,
making vines in 2012 or whatever.
No disrespect, come on the show, but if King Batch is there,
come on. I'm not a far shout.
I'm about.
You're one or two cancellations away. You gotta be one or two away.
I gotta be.
Come on. What are we talking about here?
Maybe he's from Arlington, Texas.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the problem is, you might be too good as well, where it's okay, this guy's supposed to be a celebrity, but I feel like he's more of just a player, No. I'm trying to.
I'll bat right-handed.
Yeah,
just get
exactly.
me there.
You got to figure it out.
It is interesting though. It was pretty empty in there. The timing of that. Yeah. I don't know if it seemed. I didn't see any fans.
Yeah, I didn't.
Maybe
either,
it was
really,
the angles.
Well, yeah, I think it's probably also the quality of celebrity. To be fair, Alan Stiles ain't out there, so the people ain't coming, and nobody's going to show up for King Batch.
And that's why we need to go to Heart Health.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Bring the video camera.
Yep.
You know what I was thinking yesterday, and I'm going completely off the rails, and we will get into Monte McNair here. So whether I was doing the Ballers yesterday, I'm doing the in-game hosting.
Yep.
We've seen player coaches before.
Yes.
You know where I'm going with this. Now we might have to talk about logistics, but if I was a player, but I also was the in-game host.
Wow. That's doing extra time.
Nobody has ever done that before, as far as I know.
I can't think of a reason why you couldn't.
No.
Why?
No.
They shouldn't
It's a
be
6-game
bumping
home
at all.
series, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'll play 3 of them. The other 3, I'm in-game host. And catch me on the next day.
I like to think of you probably, playing. I know you're an outfielder, but playing the infield and having just so that when someone's running the bases and then it's the third out, you then instantly just kind of step up and then start not screaming, but hey, Ballers fans, how's it going? I'm like, what is
promo code ball?
Is this guy mic'd up?
Yeah, that's right. While I'm at the plate.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, make some noise for me.
For me.
Yeah, make some noise for me. All right, good stuff. Let's get into this Monte McNair sound as he sat down with the one and only 30-year-old vet, Jason Ross, who had some questions as far as whether or not the Kings are done making moves.
A couple of final roster spots are left. Are there areas of need that you're looking at, more depth, maybe front court side? And like, what are kind of things you'd like to see addressed?
Yeah, I think for the most part, we're always looking to improve the team, and if opportunities arise, we'll certainly take advantage. I do think at this point we're expecting that this is probably the core of the group that we'll go into training camp with. But yeah, potentially one or two more roster spots. I think we're going to take our time a little bit and see there. Probably be more wing forward, big. We feel pretty good at the guard spot right now. So, we'll look. This is a big part of Summer League and see what our own guys can do. We got scouts scouting the other 29 teams here. Great opportunity for a lot of these, young players who are not even on a roster potentially to showcase themselves. And, our group's been watching the G League and International. So a lot of different ways that we can go, but, we'll take our time. We'll see what we got there. And, as we head into training camp, we'll fill those last couple spots. But, I think we're happy with the group as is. Again, if something comes up, we'll certainly look at it. But I think right now this is the bulk of the group we'll have, and a couple last spots that we'll fill right before training camp.
I'm thinking day one of training camp, you clear the court and let all the guards go out there. I mean, that competition, there's some minutes up for grabs, but there's a lot of guys that can play. I'd like to see how that goes.
Yeah, well, I think Keegan mentioned it last year, but guarding De'Aaron all summer is pretty good. Trial by fire, and we have a lot of guys. I think that they're going to go at each other, over the summer, and as we get into training camp, and obviously when Devin comes back, he'll add to that mix, and I mean that is one competitive, tough guy as well. But I think for De'Aaron too, like him going against Keon and Colby and some of these guys that can, Keegan that can throw different looks at him. Malik and all the moves he has. So it's a good group. They push each other. We hope they'd make each other better, which they've done. And then we can go take it out on the other 14 teams in the West.
I want to be very careful with how I start this.
Okay.
And great job by Jason Ross, as always. And we know how Monte McNair gets down. You got to read between the lines. But I want to be careful in how I address this. But really, what I want to say is, do you believe him? That's how I want to find a better way to say it like that. But
there's no better way of putting it.
Do you believe him that this, whatever you call the quote unquote core?
Yeah.
To me, that sounds like no Dorian Finney-Smith. That sounds like no Cam Johnson.
Yeah,
because obviously that sounds like no Kuzma,
right?
No Jeremy Grant, no Markkanen.
Right.
But it also sounds like no Cam Johnson, no Dorian Finney-Smith.
I would think so, unless Monte's just already being disrespectful and saying no, those guys are just pieces.
Right.
Which I can't imagine. And, he also did kind of hedge his bet there even then and said, not saying we're not going to make moves. We'll do our due diligence. But at the moment, the plan is, unless something pops up, that this is the core that we're going to take in. Do I believe him? I would say yes. I'll say yes only because beforehand he was very upfront. Like, I think we can Monte hasn't necessarily lied to us about their intentions in the past. I think after the original Beam team season, he was talking about continuity. He was talking about internal development, and that's other ways of saying we're not really going out and making a splash move this offseason. We're going to see how much better the players that we already have get. That was not what he said going into this offseason. Going into this offseason, he was very clear in saying, not saying internal development and in saying we need to get talent and, hey, we might need to shake up this roster a bit. And I think now that the moves have been done and he's now saying this, I believe him only because he has, in terms of this specific area of transactions, he has been very honest so far about it. I would think that as is currently constructed, they have, we talked about it all offseason so far. They've kicked the tires on every deal. They know how every single team out there values whatever piece the Kings are interested in. I think Monte has heard it all. I think he's done all the evaluations. He's done all the cross-referencing, all of it. And I think that they're good. I think as currently constructed, every deal that the Kings have out there or have talked about, they're not in favor of going through. And so unless something changes in a team's willingness to maybe move off of another piece or not be so aggressive looking for a pick or something like that. Unless something like that changes, I'm going to believe him. I do think that he's telling the truth because he has been pretty honest so far about the direction in which he wants to go in terms of talent acquisition. So I believe him, but I definitely am not going to bash anybody who says, yeah, Monte, I just don't believe you. I just don't believe that this is really, that you're not going to be on the phones and everything because you've been so active. So,
but again, it sounds like I'm not going to overpay. That's what it sounds like to me.
Exactly.
I want to make another move, but I'm not going to overpay for anything. So then when we ask the question whether or not you believe him, then it becomes, well, are you okay with it? Because I think a lot of people aren't going to be okay with it.
Yeah.
You know, we talk to different Sacramento Kings media members around, and they say it's just not a balanced enough. It's not a balanced enough roster, right? I mean, you went out, you got rid of a guard, but you added a guard, then you got rid of a guard, then you added another guard, but one of the guards is injured, and you still need some length when it comes to that 4 position. You're just thin. Yeah, DeMar DeRozan can play 4, but can I play the piano? Yes. Can I? Should you fire me up for your wedding? No, but I can mess around on some keys. I can play the first couple keys to 4 at least. You know, I got you there. So I mean, you know, when we have somebody on the text line, we'll get into it. 45 wins is not disrespectful because of the current roster. So I don't really know what to make of it, Chris. Yeah. I mean, I as much as I do love the DeMar DeRozan addition, and I think it's being slept on nationally, this team needs another piece.
Yeah.
And it might not get it. Yeah. It might not get it before the season starts. But I'm just so tired of the same cycle, Chris. We're seeing now Jeremy Grant 2 first-rounders. It's the same cycle. Okay, we're going to wait for prices to change. The prices are not changing. So I don't want to sit here and say, we'll see what happens at the trade deadline, because we've already seen, we know what's going to happen. Oh my goodness. Are they buyers? Are they sellers? As far as the other teams are concerned, the Wizards, whoever. Price tag goes up again, and Monte McNair, and not just Monte McNair, other teams too, they don't want to pay it. Or you have the Knicks, who you could say that they maybe overpaid a little bit for OG Anunoby, and they overpaid for Mikal Bridges. That's a team that says, we don't care.
Right.
Screw it. We're going to overpay all the other teams that don't want to. That's why nothing has happened.
Right.
Nothing has happened. As far the only trade, the biggest trades, you had the DeJounte Murray situation, which honestly was probably the most surprising thing.
Yeah.
Surprising deal. Yeah. Also, as far as what the Pelicans made out on that deal, in my opinion,
for sure,
based on what they had to give up. But besides that, and DeMar DeRozan, again, he's older, and people don't know, you know, where they would put him in the top echelon. I think he's number 49 when it comes to ranked players. But all these names that we've thrown into the free agency or the trade washing machine have just been cycling, and they haven't moved.
No. Yeah.
So I don't think they're going to move. And now you have the Lakers. They're in on Dorian Finney-Smith and Cam Johnson. They're the new hot tickets. So their price tag is going to go up. It's just the same thing, Chris. I feel like I'm losing it here.
You sound like you're on the verge of
It's just the same thing.
For what it's worth, I can play Snap Your Fingers on piano.
There you go.
It's about as simple as you can get.
You know, well, John, he had it.
He had it.
He had it.
It's so good. To your actual basketball point. Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely hear 100% what you're saying. Like, there's no reason to think that anything is going to change, because we've known the market is the market, and it hasn't adjusted really for the past, to your point, since you could argue last offseason, because nobody did anything at the trade deadline. And you saw the deal that got done with Mikal Bridges. That was a crazy trade. I don't think anybody else would be willing to do. And so, I mean, besides that, you have the weird Caruso-Giddey trade, which has a lot of layers into it. But that also isn't your normal trade, because Josh Giddey had the awkward, weird season that he just had, and the Bulls had messed up the Caruso thing. And so, you know, that's even not a typical value for value deal. And then, you have these sign and trades, which aren't really a good sign of hey, okay, where is the trade value of these guys? Because there is a bit of, hey, you know, we're doing, it's just already happening. So it's not even necessarily hey, let's work a trade out. It is, hey, this signing is going to happen. Let's try and make the trade aspect work so that signing does work, if that makes sense. I just think that, yeah, we're not really going to get any of these big moves, to your point, until somebody's willing to give up the farm. I don't think Utah is going to shake on the Lauri Markkanen value. No. It seems like, if anything, they're more firm than ever that they want the farm for Lauri Markkanen. I don't think that's changing anytime soon. Zach LaVine, we don't talk about Zach LaVine because the only reports out now are that nobody, literally not a single human, wants Zach LaVine on their basketball team. And so, and that contract more specifically on their basketball team, and Nikola Vucevic, I can't see anything happening until the regular season, when we start to see situations change. Honestly, that's the only thing, is if a team gets more desperate, whether it be the Lakers, hey, Anthony Davis goes out. Well, we can't waste these couple of years of LeBron's career. Now we have to go make a Jeremy Grant move and forget all the things that we are afraid to get rid of. Or if a situation like Utah is like, hey, we really want Cooper Flagg. Maybe we should be a little bit more willing to trade Lauri Markkanen. That's the only way I could see it happening. And that's not happening until actual games are played and these teams actually feel different about the situations that they thought they were in. And that puts us at no deals being made for a couple months. And so I can definitely understand the frustration, and I'm right there with you. I think that this team still does need to make a couple more moves. I know they have 2 roster spots open. I don't think that that'll be anything significant with those 2 spots. And I think the Kings still do need some forward depth. They definitely need some power forward depth 100%. And I don't know if they're going to get it done, because to me, it just across the board feels like everything's going to be quiet. And I feel like once the Olympics start and guys are actually playing basketball, I don't think any deals are going to happen when guys are playing. So I probably am right there with you, where I think we're all going to be really frustrated here in about a month or so.
Go get Matisse Thybulle. Just go.
Yeah,
he's not playing for Australia.
He sure isn't. Yeah, that's a great point.
Go get somebody. Yeah. William, we see you. We will get to you on the other side right when we come back. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and The Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, The Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
The best things in life, they come in 2s. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in 2s. Visit ConsumerCellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by July 31st, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sacktown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Sun's out, deals out. That's right. Quick Quack Car Wash is giving you 25% off any car wash now through July 31st during their Summertime Shine event. Don't miss your chance to save. We will give you a special word at 12 o'clock. You text that in, 916-339-1140, to enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. I need a car wash anyway, Chris. All that driving back to the bay and back. I need a car wash bad. I need a detail as well. Hit up Quick Quack and get it taken care of. 916-339-1140. Before we go to the phone lines, how are you on that with washing your car?
How often do I do it?
Yeah.
Not as much as I should. I always feel like I should get the Quick Quack monthly thing, but I never actually do. And I always feel like, dang, like next month I'll get it. Or if I know, like, honestly, the summer months are the way to do it. I know a lot of car washes do like hey, if it rains, we'll give you a free car wash or whatever. But yeah, I definitely need to be better, especially with the vacuum.
But it doesn't bother you.
Not the outside. The interior does get a little bothersome, especially on the floor mats, but exterior, not really, unless it's pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, I grew up and, my dad, I would wash the car with my dad.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
We got
manual washers are a thing of the past.
Yes, it was, I think it was more. I think it was, kind of the last of that breed. But then he would, take it in, and he was big on getting car washed. I miss the gene, but wifey, she did the same thing, and her dad really instilled in her, your car's got to be clean, and it
elbow
just
grease
bothers her when the car is dirty. And
so, how often does she?
Whenever, how often
does
it
have it more
often?
I have it more often. Does it get washed? But how often is she making a comment?
If it was up to her, it was every 2 weeks maybe.
That's crazy.
If it was up to her,
yeah.
And now because I've been doing the ballers thing, so I'm driving back and forth a lot.
Dusty.
So she's not happy. Not happy. So I'm gonna send her this quick quack information to get some brownie points. 916-339-1140. Let's go to William, who's been patiently waiting on the line. What's up, William? Stiles and Watkins, what you got for us?
Yes, sir. How are you? Thanks for taking my call. Hey, I'm listening to your conversation. Murray is not a 4. So why don't we just admit that he's a swingman 3 at best for the rest of his career, and let's get a powerhouse 4 in there, because we're not going anywhere without one.
Yeah.
William, who's your idea of a 4? I'm just curious. Who would you say in today's modern?
Bam Adebayo, Robert House, anybody that can bring us 9 rebounds, some blocks, and fight underneath.
Okay.
Take some load off of Domas.
Gotcha.
Got it. Yeah, I think thanks for the call, William. I think in the lineup we were talking about, not that I think William would probably disagree with this as well, but it would really be DeMar DeRozan at the 4. That's what I had. Or what did you have? Either way, neither of them are real 4s, to William's point.
I think, and the reason why I asked William what he could, because I don't know what a modern day 4 is. Like, I think a modern day 4 is Keegan. Like, Kyle Kuzma plays the modern day 4. Kyle Kuzma doesn't play 3.
Yeah, Bam is a 5.
Bam's a 5.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why it's like, I mean, I think that the days of Chris Webber or like a smaller center being your 4, just, it doesn't really work out. If that were the case, like Sabonis would be a 4, I think. I think modern day 4s to me are Keegan Murray. They are
Bobby Portis is who I think a William would want.
Sure,
that is
exactly
a
straight
traditional
up 4. Yep.
Traditional, old school, grab your lunch pail.
Yeah.
Big boy 4.
And I do not disagree at all. And I think I can speak for you, where especially if it comes to Bobby Portis, like, I think we agree that we do need a guy like that. But at the same time, I don't think that you have to. Like, I do think, especially if the Kings, the style of play, especially that the Kings play offensively, where it is up tempo, it is very 3-point centric. I kind of think, especially when you have a rebounder, not that they don't need rebounding, but when you have a rebounder like Domas, you are able to kind of have a weaker rebounding 4, because he is so good and so much better than everybody else in that department. So, I do agree with William that we need a 4, definitely, but I would just push back that we don't have a 4 and that Keegan just straight up isn't a 4 in today's modern NBA. I definitely think he is. I think me and William would agree that there is certain things that we think if Keegan is going to play the 4, he's got to be better at, mainly rim protection and rebounding, but I wouldn't say that makes Keegan unavailable at the 4.
It's really confusing because you either have 3 4s or 4 5s. So when I literally just sit there and search,
terms of, I thought you were saying 3, like you have 3 of them.
Right. You either skew 3 4 or you skew 4 5. So when I straight up look up, this is from Hollinger from ESPN, 2023-2024 power forwards.
Yes, perfect.
This is what comes up. Giannis, Anthony Davis, Sabonis, Williamson, Zion Williamson, Trace Jackson Davis, Lauri Markkanen, Kevin Durant, Jalen Smith, Chet Holmgren, Evan Mobley, Pascal Siakam, Marvin Bagley, Paul George, Jonathan Isaac, Jalen Williams, Julius Randle, Kevin Love,
for sure,
Bobby Portis, John Collins.
John Collins is a 4.
Jaren Jackson, Paul Reed, Kelly Olynyk.
And to your point,
Paolo Banchero brings the ball up.
I would call Paolo size-wise a 4.
Yes, agreed.
I think
Kuminga.
To your point,
have Kuminga on here.
Those are all. I would consider a lot of those guys 5s or a lot of those guys 3s. And I just
Aaron Gordon as well.
Aaron Gordon's a 4 for sure. Like I would say the ones that Aaron Gordon, Julius Randle, Bobby Portis, those guys are definitely your traditional 4s. But to the point of that list, even I think the traditional 4 that I think William's calling about, it's a dinosaur. It doesn't exist.
But there's a couple.
There's a couple of
Aaron
them.
Gordon,
if you're looking
he's
for
taken.
Them, those guys are niche players. And I think you could read that as, hey, I'm sure William would say, go get one of those guys. That's what I'm saying. I would just counter and say that clearly that's an indication that, the NBA, for whatever reason, like it or not, I definitely have some quarrels with it, but like it or not, the 4 position just is, I think it's viewed as redundant. It's just, hey, if you're pretty much you're either a slow 3 or you're a short, smaller 5.
Yeah, they got Kevon Looney here as a 4.
100%.
Larry Nance. I would have been interested in Larry Nance Jr.
Nance is interesting, but I don't want him starting. I don't think he's a starter quality guy. So that's its own little, I guess it's its own separate conversation of what you would consider a 4, but I definitely think Keegan can steal minutes at the 4. And I think in today's NBA, he can definitely get by with playing the 4, as long as you're not going against, a team like Minnesota really is the only one. And maybe Denver, but even then I think Keegan Murray can guard Aaron Gordon. It's just if Aaron Gordon takes him to the post, it might be a long day.
Well, I'm looking here because this was a guy on your free agent list, and would William like this guy, Precious Achiuwa?
Precious Achiuwa is the one for me.
And from what I'm seeing, he's still available.
Yeah.
6 hours ago, Knicks are in talks with him. But can I interest you in a Precious Achiuwa?
I like Precious Achiuwa. I think he's more of a modern day 5, but to the point earlier, he's kind of 6'8", 6'7", so he's a smaller center, and so by virtue, he kind of plays 4. He's not very offensively skilled at all, but think of Kings fans, think of him like a in the mold of Reggie Evans or Quincy Acey. He's just a straight hustle guy who's going to get you rebounds, who's going to get you putbacks, and is really going to be a monster on the offensive glass. And that's really what he's bringing you. And I think that there's room for that. But at the same time, I don't think that guy's playing 82 games for you. It feels like he's kind of a 50 to 60 gamer. And even then he'll probably play 10 minutes a night and just be there for energy. But I think this team desperately needs it. It's just not something I would 100% prioritize.
Munir, we see you. We will get to you on the other side, and we will have the conversation about who is available. Well, we know who's available on the market, but who should the Kings go after? These price tags, they're starting to go up again, people. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water rail.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hart Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by McKee Brothers, Clemmy Reuter and Heat, and Dawson Oil Company.
I would end the day with sore feet, sore legs. The drugstore inserts that I was purchasing were really not very useful at all. I walked into the Good Feet store and the guy kind of grinned at me and said, I hear that a lot. I was living with chronic pain before going to the Good Feet store. Now I don't really have that problem. I'm able to do the things that I expect to be able to do, even at my advanced age. I feel pretty good about what's going on.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Sacktown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sacktown Sports and subscribe.
$30 we will give you a special code to text in 916-339-1140 to enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. We will give you that number at 12 p.m. If you're on the app. I want to switch over, maybe not right now, but in a little bit here, if you want that 30-day Quick Quack membership. We're going to get into all the different trade market pieces and updates. Not that there's anything crazy going on right now, but there are a couple updates. But first, we're going to hear from Munir, who's been waiting patiently. What's up, Munir? You are on Stiles and Watkins. What you got for us?
Hey, what's up, guys? So I was just calling if, worst case scenario, we don't make a move. I think DeMar is going to be playing the floor a lot defensively. Because we saw Keegan kind of guards, so I think they're gonna. It's kind of what he did in Chicago too. So I do see DeMar stealing a lot of minutes at the 4 defensively. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah, thanks for the call. I think that we've kind of gone back and forth on whether it'll be Keegan or DeMar DeRozan. We had, I believe, maybe the Drive guys had on a Bulls writer after the deal was done, and we did as well. And basically, DeMar's played everywhere in this kind of second stage of his career between the 2 and the 4, right? And he played a decent amount of 4 on the Bulls, I think, Chris, defensively, but he still brought the ball up, which would confuse us. And I thought, I had him as a shooting guard, right? So, and I think a lot of people did.
A lot of people, for sure.
But again, I don't know if DeMar at the 4 means that they didn't make another move, right? So that is basically the conversation. It's not that we don't believe DeMar can play the 4. It's that it would be him playing it because, like Monte basically said, we believe we have our core. So we probably need to get ready for that reality, because I think it's very possible, as we'll get into some of these trade prices, and that's why I believe it's possible that this is who the Kings are going to roll with.
Yeah, no, and I mean, it does kind of make sense the more I think about it. I know we were just having the conversation, but, I didn't really consider it, and I definitely should have, because we talk about it all the time. You are positionally what you can guard, and I think to the point, like, it's Keegan makes sense guarding the perimeter guys. Monte even mentioned it in talking with Jason there. He said Keegan, talked about this past offseason how guarding De'Aaron definitely helped him with perimeter defense. And I think DeMar is, he's 35 or going to be 35 years old. It makes sense to put the younger guy out on the perimeter and have DeMar use some of that grown man strength. DeMar has played some 4, and he's not as laterally quick as what he probably used to be. And so it does make sense if he's physically, in terms of strength, able to keep up with the 4s. It does actually make a lot of sense to put Keegan more on the perimeter, where he has done really well. And let's be honest, I mean, Keegan Murray, who is, I only say shy because I do think it plays into his play style. He's not really a banger. Like, he's not going to, if you push Keegan Murray, he's probably not going to push you back unless somebody gets in his face and says, no, Keegan, like, we need you to push back. So I think it might make more sense to put DeMar in the post or on more post-friendly players, and have Keegan use his youth and his length to try and disrupt the perimeter. It does make a lot of sense, especially if you put Keon Ellis out there. You have Keon, De'Aaron, and Keegan on the perimeter, and you have DeRozan, who's, I'm sure, really, really smart on the defensive end in terms of just knowing how to be a help defender. That might make a whole lot more sense than playing Keegan at the 4 straight up and just not thinking about those kind of things.
Yeah, I'm not sure that the Kings fan base is ready to accept that this might be what the Kings are going to roll with. But Monte, he is telling you, right? I think, like you said, he's probably just protecting himself because of these price tags. But he is basically telling you, all right, Chris, speaking of the price tags, these are some of the trade market updates. So there's still no market, no change for Zach LaVine. And now another player who's being thrown into that mix with Zach LaVine is Vucevic. They're saying that there is not a market for Vucevic, who, again, great player, but people don't feel like they want to pay that price tag. This is interesting, Chris, and this came out recently in a Athletic article, Anthony Slater, and this is the Golden State Warriors have been the most engaged team for marketing in the recent weeks, as the league sources tell The Athletic. They have discussed a proposal. This sounds like when fans create something based on what they propose and then what Danny Ainge wants. They have discussed a proposal around Moses Moody, multiple first-round picks, multiple pick swaps, and multiple second-round picks. The Jazz, however, has asked for the bulk of young talent and capital the Warriors possess, including Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, and Brandon Podziemski, along with picks, which has been a non-starter thus far for Golden State, league sources said.
I mean, that does make sense, because I was literally thinking of asking you the question: would you rather, if you're Utah, and you're very familiar with the Golden State, especially their youth movement. I think you were covering the team as they kind of brought those guys in. Would you rather have a ton of picks, but knowing you're giving them marketing, so those picks could be 15 to 25 or anywhere in between, or maybe even later than that? I don't think so, but it could be there. Or would you rather say, no, like, I'll take the bet on Kuminga. I'll take the bet on Moody. I'll probably ask for Podziemski if I'm not going to ask for the swell of picks in the future too. I don't mean to speak for you, but we'd rather have that, right? We would rather have the young players. Yeah. And I think that's kind of the part that Golden State's, I think, hoping that Danny Ainge overlooks. But I mean, if I'm Danny Ainge, I'm definitely saying, no, I want your young player. Give me Brandon Podziemski and Jonathan Kuminga, and that's where this conversation starts. I might let you keep a Trace Jackson Davis. I might let you keep a Moses Moody, but we're not having a conversation here unless you're talking about your best young assets, because what are we playing for at Utah?
I mean, the Warriors, to think that, and look, we joke about Brandon Podziemski, but he's having a heck of a summer.
He sure is, man.
And, he has been balling. But for the Warriors to think, and I get it, the Warriors are just saying, just take our future.
Yeah.
Right. Take Moses Moody. You come on. And I like Moses Moody, and they won't let him play because he actually was killing the Kings. But centered around Moses Moody, what are we doing here?
What are we doing?
And a bunch of picks. The gall of the Warriors to think that they're going to get Markkanen without giving up Podziemski or Kuminga is insane.
Crazy. It's nuts. And I don't get it. I get, like, they're young, exciting players, but we here in Sacramento have had conversations about maybe moving off of Key. Like, you have to be willing to at least have the conversation. Right. And it feels like, who knows if Golden State's front office is feeling that way, but from the fan base, it's like, y'all have to be willing to get rid of something, right? Like, you understand, you're not the Lakers. Like, I think that's what it is they really do hold on to this thought that, and I know it doesn't really work with trades, but they feel like, oh no, we're a destination. People want to be here. And I think that they feel like they have to give up less for whatever reason.
It just reeks of the whole light years mentality. So you're telling me, because if someone's going to be untouchable, it's either based on situation or you think they're going to be a franchise changer. Right. Tyrese Halliburton, I don't know where you would put him, but some people might say that he is a franchise changer. And some people thought that he should have been untouchable. So the Warriors just think that they're so good at drafting that they have Jonathan Kuminga, who's going to be a franchise changer. But then you also can't get rid of the steal in the draft and Podziemski. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy.
And it's funny that it's Moses. And to that point, too, it can't be Trayce Jackson-Davis either.
No.
It's got to be Moody. It's got to be the one that you definitely don't want.
Yes, exactly. And everybody knows that you don't want him.
Right, exactly.
This one, Chris, and then we'll finish on the other side. Heat GM Andy Ellisberg on a potential Jimmy Butler extension. Pat Riley has indicated in his postseason press conference that there are things he wants to see from Jimmy and there are challenges he wants met. Jimmy's not one who is familiar with being challenged. That's the GM.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
That's kind of a crazy quote right there, that Jimmy's not used to being challenged like
I don't get this, man.
Yeah, it seems like a very, very contentious relationship for sure. Like, it definitely doesn't feel healthy. It feels like both of those two are trying to outdog each other in terms of Pat Riley and Jimmy, and waiting to see which one backs down first. And to me, it's a really simple solution. If I were Miami, I definitely understand wanting to get rid of Jimmy while he still has some value, because I do think 2 years from now, we're probably not talking about the same Jimmy Butler. I think it's really interesting just how they could possibly come back together at the end of this offseason and just act like everything's normal and you're going to re-sign moving forward. To me, that situation seems cooked. I know Jimmy just doesn't feel like the kind of guy. I know he probably appreciates, hey, game recognized game. I can see that you're trying to push me the way I push others, but I also kind of feel like he probably doesn't respond well to it. It feels like he likes to be the alpha in the room.
I know we got to get to on the other side, but I really do have a question, and I might be wildly disrespectful in asking this, but based on price tag, I'll ask that question when we get back. Okay. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Grab the keys to a new fuel-efficient Toyota. Let's go! Hit the open California road this summer with incredible MPG and peace of mind. With fewer fill-ups, you can explore further and make the most of those long summer days. Choose from Toyota's 16 hybrid and electrified models, more than any other brand, and go the distance with Toyota's class-leading fuel efficiency and reliability. It's time to make this summer one to remember. Toyota. Let's go places.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. Whether you've been injured on a bicycle, as a pedestrian in a slip and fall, auto, Uber, Lyft, or big rig accident, you need Ashton & Price in your corner. When you call Ashton & Price, there's no chatbot telling you to hit 3 for accounting. You're greeted by a real-life person who will immediately transfer you to an experienced attorney. The consultation's free, and there's never a fee until you win.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton
and price.
Summer is finally here, and so are all the best deals on DeWalt power tools at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento. Drills, impacts, circular saws, you name it, we have it for the best price in town, guaranteed. Whether you're a weekend warrior or a seasoned tradesman, we've got all the DeWalt products you need to crush your next project. So come on down to Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet today on Power and Road for better tools at better prices. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net.
Keep your family cool and comfortable this summer with Bell Brothers' best summer ever financing event. When you replace your AC system, we're offering 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on approved credit, then low fixed rate thereafter. That's right, 0 payments, 0 interest for 6 months on any new AC system. It's an incredible offer on an incredible new AC system, but only for a limited time. This offer is also available on any plumbing, water heater, or insulation projects over $1,000. So call Bell Brothers now. Your family will thank you because they'll be cool and comfortable. But you have to hurry. Our offer for 0 payment, 0 interest for 6 months, then low fixed rate thereafter ends soon. Estimates and second opinions are free. So call now to keep your family cool and comfortable during Bell Brothers' best summer ever event. Our number is 916-444-1234 or find us online at theNoSurpriseGuys.com. That's theNoSurpriseGuys.com.
The No Surprise Guys, Bell Brothers.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sacktown Sports.
This is from the 415, Chris. Brothers, 45 wins is not disrespectful. It's the reality. This team does not have any toughness, does not have any length nor size. You talked about things that needed to be addressed when you get smacked 6 times against the same particular opponent. I would think you would try to address that in the offseason, and that is yet to be addressed. Well, let me ask you this, 415. Do you think that the Kings, and maybe we don't know, but I would like to think, Chris, that the Kings do not lose to the Pelicans 6 times with DeMar DeRozan playing in place of Harrison Barnes. And maybe I'm wrong, but I would like to think that. So I would say it was addressed in some capacity. Maybe it wasn't addressed enough.
Right.
But in some capacity.
I would think so. Yeah. I mean, they're a better team than they were last year. I mean, how much of that too was, I think we're it's tough because I want to say how much are we over-reading into like the Pelicans are actually built specifically to beat the Kings and how much of it is it. I know when you beat a team 6 times, there's not really much chance, but it's like, is that really a true indicator of how much better or how much solved the Pelicans have over the Kings? Like, I don't know if that's necessarily representing, exactly how much better or how different the Pelicans are than the Kings. But yeah, I mean, I think that definitely the Kings are a better team this year than they were last year. And I do believe that with DeMar DeRozan and with just better seasons from guys who had bad seasons, the Kings are going to surprise a lot of people, maybe even some in this fan base included. I just can't really see a path to them disappointing. Like, I think last season was ultimately disappointing in terms of how the results went and then how we expected it to go versus how it felt too. I definitely think that this year there's just so many things built in that if Malik Monk has an off night, DeMar DeRozan can step up, Keegan Murray can step up, Kevin Huerter, again, is not going to have as bad of a season as he had last year. I just think that there's more in this team that makes it so I trust on a night-to-night basis they bring it. And how about instead of mentioning the Pelicans losses that we had 6 times that you might not be able to control, let's talk about how DeMar DeRozan might help the Kings not lose to the Hornets, not lose to the Blazers, not lose to the Pistons. Because if you win those games, you're at 50 games, and it doesn't really matter if you lost to the Pelicans 6 times or 7 times or however many it was.
That's why the 45.5 is still pretty crazy to me.
They tricked off so many games.
So many. And then had injuries.
Yes.
And then had injuries at the end of the season. Okay, so I have 2 players for you. This is for Chris Watkins and, of course, for all the listeners. Don't forget, at 12 p.m., we are going to give you a special word to text 916-339-1140 and enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. And I might get destroyed for this. But men lie, women lie, but numbers never lie. Chris, the first player I have for you, player A, played 60 games last season. He averaged 20.8 points on 5.3 rebounds and 5 assists. He turns 35 in September. He played 60 games. He shot 49% from the field, 41% from three, 85% from free throw. That's the first guy.
25 and 5, 49. Okay, gotcha. 49.50. Okay.
The second guy, gotcha. and the first guy wants a max contract, by the way. The second guy turns 35 in August, so a month earlier. He played 79 games last season on 24 points, 4.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 48% from the field, 33% from three, 85% from free throw. And he does not cost as much as the other guy. He's getting paid about 25 mil, somewhere around there, 25, 27 mil. The first guy, and neither of them really three-point shooters. Obviously, the first guy at 41%, the other guy at 33%. But they're both known for their mid-ranges. They're both going to be 35 heading into the next season. One guy likes to make his own coffee and be in music videos and do movies and go to Wimbledon and do a lot of different things. The other guy just wants to hoop and wants to win. The first guy is Jimmy Butler. The second guy
leading the witness.
Yeah. You will ignore the last statement from
redacted.
Yes, redacted. The first guy is Jimmy Butler. The second guy is DeMar DeRozan. Chris, did they essentially just get a Jimmy Butler-esque acquisition for a much better deal?
No, I mean, they do they're complete opposite ends of the floor, I think, is where their impacts are made. Like, DeMar is supposed to be the offensive guy, and the fact that, and Jimmy is definitely meant to be the defensive gritty guy, and the fact that I think Jimmy brings those offensive numbers on top of the defense is what makes Jimmy more valuable. Now, will I say max value versus half of that pretty much? That's where, you definitely start to lose me 100%. But I think the difference between the two is that, Jimmy's impacted winning as well. Jimmy has had 2 teams go to the conference finals and the finals, and actually has had 2 teams go to the finals. I forget that they went in the bubble as well. And DeRozan hasn't made it out of the first round, I think. I want to say ever. I don't think DeMar DeRozan has ever made it out of the first round. And so I think that's kind of where the difference in price becomes, is people are obsessed with winning and winning culture. And, it might not be DeMar's fault, but Jimmy is definitely tied directly with the Heat's success and the Heat overcoming a lack of talent because he's such a gritty guy who can step up and play that superstar role, or he can take a step back and be a role player if you need. And I think DeMar, all of his bread is buttered at the offensive end of the floor. And, he's 4 points per game better, and he's a couple points in the assist category better. I think it's he should be. And I think that's kind of the main difference when you're talking about their impact, is just Jimmy's got the results and DeMar doesn't have the results, but the numbers definitely look the exact same. And you could argue DeMar's numbers could come with results. It's just going to be this season.
Yeah.
He just hasn't been put in a good situation, man. Like, he was in that Chicago situation was terrible before he walked into it. And, they've tried to grow it, but, we had Will Gottlieb on last week. And he pretty much said, like, when DeMar came here, this team was, drafting Kobe White and drafting Patrick Williams at number 4. They were in the lottery perennially. And now, DeMar didn't bring them to the mountaintop, but he turned them from a team perennially in the top 7 of the lottery into a team that's at least close to or competing for the play-in tournament. And I think if that's just him singularly raising that team to that level with not much help, what is he going to be when he's the number 2 or number 3 option in a situation that he's just additive to? We're not changing. I don't think we're going to change the offense at all to cater to DeMar DeRozan. I think DeMar DeRozan's going to find the pockets in the offense in which it caters to him. That's what I'm hoping, at least. I mean, it makes sense. I feel like people are thinking DeMar is this ISO heavy guy.
Well, I just feel that DeMar knows how to play basketball, and he knows how to make it work.
That's what it is. 100%.
And he's not.
He's a basketball player.
Right. It's not going to, it might be a little bit clunky to start, but it's clunky whenever anybody is acquired and you're trying to make a new situation work. So I'm not really too worried about that. I did just find it interesting just based on the pure numbers. And obviously those are only offensively, but based on the pure numbers, a lot of people wanted Jimmy Butler. Now, yes, you can say the dog mentality and getting that to the Kings, and the Kings don't necessarily have somebody like that yet, but you do have somebody in DeMar DeRozan that everybody likes, that has been around for a very long time, and he wants to win as well. And I do think that, from the perspective of De'Aaron Fox and taking on that leadership, and Malik Monk now being signed for 4 years, taking on more of that leadership role, I do think that we'll get there. Will they ever get the quote unquote? Well, you see Patrick Beverley, they want to send him overseas? A historic contract.
I wonder who reported that. Oh yeah, it was the Patrick Beverley podcast.
The Pat Bev pod.
That's right.
If you don't subscribe to my podcast.
Yeah, I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never find out.
Yeah.
I'm not subscribed. That's for sure.
Yeah. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you have DeMar DeRozan at least doing some of the things that Jimmy Butler does and adding a dimension that the Kings did not previously have. Coming up next, we go to Summer League. Take a look at our Summer League rookie report. How are the youngins playing so far, including the one, the only, Tejan Salon. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Subscribe to Sacktown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, even though Brent Rooker was certainly deserving with his 18 homers and 54 RBIs, the A's electric closer Mason Miller is the team's representative in the All-Star game. Now, he joins a list of 5 other Oakland rookies who have been named to the team over the years. Names like Wayne Gross, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Andrew Bailey, and Ryan Cook.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay to store bank account. Equipment taxes and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rate supply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and they have a special deal going right now just for you. Receive your first month's payment up to $1,500 on them on select new 2024 GLE vehicles or the all-new E-Class now at Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. Rates begin at 1.99% APR on select certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz. Plus, you can always check out their other deals at mbofstockton.com or head on down I-5 to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Imagine the most beautiful panoramic setting. Endless waves crashing on a beach, kids playing in the park. Now, right smack in the middle of your perfect picture, imagine just one piece of litter. It doesn't fit, does it? and it simply doesn't belong anywhere, certainly not in California, not even one piece. Good news, if we work together, we will change it all. Clean California. Zero litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
If you've been on the American River, it's uphill, it's downhill. There's trails everywhere that you can walk, and it just makes you happy. And I couldn't walk, and it was terrible. I was turning into a real crab. I went to the Good Feet store, and I tried on the arch supports. I could not believe that I was not in pain. I can walk, I can run, I can jump, I can do anything. My name's Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
No look, Bibby to Weber down the lane's line. Jam, there's your play of the night right there. It's inside is Sabonis. A two-hand rip. A brilliant pass from De'Aaron Fox.
KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Sacktown Sports.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
It is time. Sun's out, deals out. That's right. Quick Quack Car Wash is giving you 25% off any car wash now through July 31st during their summertime shine event. Don't miss your chance to save. Right now, text BEAM, BEAM, to 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140 to enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. Text BEAM to that number if you want to enter to win a 30-day Quick Quack membership. Terms and conditions apply. For more information, visit sacktownsports.com. From the 925, Chris, over under 45.5 is totally fair. While we are better on offense, what hasn't been addressed is quality depth. If we stay healthy, take the over. So what do you think, Chris? You think 45.5 is low?
I do. Yeah, I think it's low. I think this team is a 50-win team right now. And obviously, if healthy, for sure. But I think that it's definitely a talent upgrade. I think that, even though last year the talking point was internal development, I think that still applies this year. If anything, it applies more. A year 3 leap is usually a lot more significant than a year 2 leap. As we know, the sophomore slump is definitely a thing. And Keegan, to an extent, went through that. I would expect his numbers, especially in terms of efficiency, to go right back up to where it was in his rookie year.
Yeah. I just want to remind people of something.
Yeah.
They had 46 wins last season.
That's correct. Yeah, 46. In a bad year, which we were disappointed
46 wins in a season where they lost to the Blazers. Yep. They lost to the Pistons. They lost to the Hornets. Mm-hmm. They couldn't beat the Pelicans once.
I think they lost to the Wizards. You said the Wizards.
They lost to the Wizards.
Lost to the Bulls, too, at home.
They lost to the Bulls at home. They lost to the Heat without Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero.
They also got killed by the Sixers that one game when they had nobody on that Friday.
They got smacked by the Sixers. They couldn't make their free throws against the Bucks.
Yep.
They blew it in the last second against the Suns.
They had a Klay Thompson game winner early in the year.
They had a Klay Thompson game winner. They blew that lead against the Knicks at the end of the season. They blew that lead against
OKC
at the end of the season.
Celtics pretty much handed them a win.
And they said, no, thank you. So that's 46 wins.
Yeah.
You didn't have Malik Monk at the end of the season. Yep. You didn't have Kevin Huerter at the end of the season.
Or really for the entire season.
I mean, that's 3 wins.
I call it a season from hell.
I'll lowball it and say 3.
Yeah.
That's still 48 wins.
Yeah. And they added DeMar DeRozan. And everybody wanted to get Harrison Barnes out of here. He's out of here. Out of here.
You added DeMar DeRozan and 45 and I'm not saying 45 and a half from the national perspective. I don't care about the national perspective.
I'm talking here.
The
internal confidence.
How is that not disrespectful?
We should all be taking a mega bus over to Reno.
That's right.
Together.
And I will.
Yes.
Right now.
Come on.
There are some they lost to the Pacers without Tyrese Halliburton or Siakam.
Yeah, with his terrible outfits.
There's some bad losses in there.
Terrible.
At least 10.
Terrible. Yeah. And I call it a season from hell. I guess it could have been worse if they dealt with like De'Aaron or Sabonis injuries. But in terms of like the play, again, Keegan goes from 40% from 3 to 36%. Kevin Huerter goes from, again, 40% from 3 to, I think, 35% from 3. Malik gets hurt the last 10 games. Kevin Huerter was bad and then gets hurt the last 10 games. Trey Lyles in and out of the lineup the entire year. Keon Ellis thankfully saved it at the end of the season. But
Zenkoff wanted to go home.
They had no rookies last year either, so they didn't get any influx of youth or talent really at all.
Where's my boy? 113. Yeah, it's just Taylor Mays. Okay.
Oh, man, I forgot about him. Yeah, Taylor Mays, Duop Reith. Remember Duop Reith being a thing? Making these people generational money, for the rest of their lives. It's crazy. And yeah, I mean, I just think.
Excuse me, Skylar Mays.
Skylar Mays. I was like,
Taylor Mays was the football player.
Like yes.
Skylar Mays.
Yes, Taylor Mays. Yes, he was a USC safety.
Nasty.
He was I think the Niners drafted him. I remember that fool. He was what's the Raiders safety right now? Abrams?
Who's
just trying to take people's heads off.
Right. Well, he's gone too. They got him out of there.
At all.
Yeah. So Skylar Mays balled out.
Why not? Taylor Mays probably would have balled out.
Anybody. And 45 and a half is fair. If you're not if you are an objective person.
Right.
You are a Kings fan and you watch these bad losses and you don't think DeMar DeRozan can at least help not lose 3 of those games?
I think it's crazy. I mean, I really do. And I mean, top end of the West, it's not like it's gotten much better. I know OKC definitely gets better with adding Caruso. You can maybe make the argument that Minnesota's better by adding Dillingham, but I don't think Denver got any better. I definitely don't think the Clippers got better. Dallas, are they any? I know the Kings lost both of those games at the end of the year to them, but Dallas doesn't feel like it's a team the Kings absolutely can't handle or can't beat or be better than throughout the regular season. I mean, the West is just as problematic. It might be a little bit more at the bottom. It might be tougher to kind of get those easier opponents out of the way. They might be a little bit better, but I don't think that the West should necessarily, if the only defense for the Kings having 45 and a half is, the West, it's just so tough. Well, it was tough last year.
Right.
And the Kings, I mean, they did have problems with it, but they still won 46 games and they probably should have won more. I have no idea. I mean, I'll tell you what, Alan, by the end of the year, or by the start of the season, I guess I should say, I'll be going up to Reno. That's for 100% certain. And I think that's easy. I mean, I've put them at 50 wins since they got DeMar. I just think it's a clear talent upgrade. And I think this team underperformed last year. And I think even if they just would have performed to standard, I think they probably finished 48, 49, maybe even 50 wins.
All right, Chris, let's get into some of these Summer League duds and studs. Tejan Salon made his debut, 3 for 7 from the field.
I was going to ask you that.
Yeah, 3 for 7 from the field. I was watching the highlights before the show today, and he's just long as heck, man. Really? He's long as heck. He was 0 for 3 from 3-point land, and he's definitely going to be a fit. You can definitely tell that he's raw, but he's got a high motor, and for a Hornets team who knows what they're trying to do. LaMelo's probably only 23 at this point. He's so young. So they're definitely going to have a future to work with. Let's see if the Hornets figure it out. Okay, who are some of the other studs and duds, Chris?
Big stud from the weekend is Matas Buzelis. More specifically, yesterday, Matas had 20 of his 28 in the second half of the Summer League game in which they lost 92-82 to the Warriors. And Brandon Pajemski, shout out him. I'm not going to shout him out because he's obviously not a rookie, but like you said, he's having a great summer, had a great Summer League game the other day. But the number 11 pick in Matas showed off his stroke. He was 10 of 22 from the field, 4 of 8 from 3, 5 rebounds, 2 steals. And I mean, he took the internet over last night. Yeah. If you haven't seen it yet, There's already a Not Like Us remix to his dunk. He absolutely posterized some dude on the Warriors last night. And I just don't think people.
Plowden, I think. Yeah,
I know he's number 29 and wore a headband, and I was like, "Is this my 2K? What's going on here?"
That's right.
So yeah, I mean, I think people just kind of didn't expect Matas to have that in his bag, but yeah, he went crazy yesterday. Another guy who went crazy this past weekend, my guy that I wanted for the Kings, Tristan Da Silva, lighting it up with the Orlando Magic Summer League. Jonathan Wasserman, who's the draft guy for Bleacher Report, made this note over the weekend. Da Silva combined for 39, 6 assists, and 6 made threes through his first 50 Summer League minutes. He's really efficient at what he does, makes open threes, and passing reads, capitalize on space in front of him, and he's a high skill level, high feel player. Really liked what I saw from Tristan Da Silva. We watched him a bit on Friday during the show. He was playing, just looks like a shot maker, looks like he's going to fit in perfectly to whatever role Orlando wants him to be in. And I think the person who's had the biggest summer league so far is frankly somebody we probably should have expected it from, Reed Sheppard, the number 3 pick who went to the Houston Rockets. Reed Sheppard has been on another level, Alan. I don't know if you've seen him at all. In his first game, 23 points, 5 assists, 4 boards, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 53%. His second summer league game, 22 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 5 steals, a block, and shot 60% from the field. He has been incredible, averaging obviously over 20 points per game so far. He's done it all. He's got his vertical leap. He's got a 3-point shot, which he shot, I think, 45 or 46% from 3 last year in college. He is absolutely lighting up the Vegas Summer League so far, and he's kind of got people wilding out here. And I think he's definitely the one who's going to, after Summer League, probably, I would guess, have the highest odds to win Rookie of the Year, because he just looks so comfortable. And honestly, I mean, I know I just made the joke about the Warriors player, but Reed Sheppard looks like your 2K player going in there on max stats and all that. He has looked incredible, and his style of play is so fun. I think he's probably going to be a shoe-in for Rookie of the Year this year, and I don't know if he's going to have much competition.
Yeah, here's some sound, and this is Brado, NBA, and he's kind of aggregating it. Basically, there is a conversation as far as the Hawks looking at Reed as a Patrick Mahomes type prospect, but decided to go with Rashae because he was number 2 on their board.
This, the Atlanta Hawks viewed Reed Sheppard as a, quote, potential Mahomes type of player, and he was number 2 on their board, and ultimately they went with the guy that had better size. But it'll be interesting to see where Reed Sheppard goes and what kind of career he has, because he was the player that finished second in this race to the Hawks, to Rashae, and we might well see down the road that it could be, well, a potential mistake, because they put the Sheppard Mahomes comp in this regard. What if Reed Sheppard turns into one of the best 3-point shooters in the NBA? What if he's a guy who can give you 22, 24, 26 points per game? If that's the case, we would have automatically taken him. We don't have the answer to that. Rashae narrowly beats out Sheppard to go.
Make that make sense for me, because I don't know. I think you were going to ask me, and I'm not going to let you do it. I'm going to throw it right back to you.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell I don't know what he's talking about.
They just basically they feel like there's a chance that they could end up regretting this, but they went with the safer pick. And I didn't know what to expect out of Reed Sheppard. And we should say this too, Chris. A lot of people have different takes on Summer League and what you should do if somebody's balling out or not. Mm-hmm. I think a lot of people believe that if you ball out in Summer League, it's a good thing. Yeah, for sure. Right? But it does not mean that you are going to be a stud at the next level. If you struggle in Summer League, that is a terrible thing, yes, right? So you can look really good in Summer League and take it with a grain of salt. If you look bad in Summer League, that's a red flag. Yeah. So at the very least, Reed Sheppard seems to be a guy that will be a competent player in the NBA, but I don't want to do too much.
Mahomes is a bit much.
Yeah, from Summer League when he's playing guys that he was cooking. Yeah. I mean, a couple second-year guys, but it's mostly dudes that he was cooking in college, which is why he got picked number 3.
Yeah, definitely. No, I mean, I think it's definitely a positive for sure, like you said, but it's not the end-all, be-all. It doesn't mean Reed Sheppard's going to go crazy or nothing. Doesn't mean he's going to comp to Patrick Mahomes. I don't know what that
doesn't mean he's not.
Yeah, it doesn't mean he's not. It just definitely isn't confirmation that it's the 100% the right pick. I just think it's interesting that they clearly didn't go with the best player available there, and they did
In
everything
their
that
opinion.
every draft, even like the casuals will tell you, don't draft for need, and especially not at number one. Take the best player available and figure the rest out later.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to me that they cite height as the reason why they went with Reese Shashay over Reed Shepherd. I mean, if you have belief that your guy could be what I assume they mean by Patrick Mahomes type prospect is a game changer, someone who, comes in the league and instantly is, oh my gosh, this guy is Peyton Manning day one. And, I get that, especially with the Steph Curry comp to it. But I just don't see, if you really believe that internally, I don't see how you don't pull the trigger, especially in a really weak draft class.
Right.
It makes all the sense in the world to go with somebody that you actually like and not take a flyer on somebody that I think everybody has questions on already.
Is Rashache, is he playing right now?
He played his first game, and I think he was okay looking at the numbers. He wasn't good enough to put him in the studs. I'll put it that way. He wasn't good enough to put in the studs. He wasn't bad enough to put in the duds. But I will say Alex Sarr was, and he had a rough one yesterday. 5 points, 6 points, 6 of 12 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. After an okay first game, he went against Reese Shashay in his first game. And should also make note that Bronny is continually struggling.
0 for 8 from 3-point land for Bronny. Huh?
Yeah. He's supposed to be a shooter. That was supposed to be his thing. 3-and-D. Can't do that if you're not. There's no such thing as a 2-and-D, right? Nobody ever says, you know what? We need a defender who on the other end is going to attack the rim, hit some middies, and do things for us. No, I've never heard of that. Never heard of the midi and D. Doesn't sound right.
I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no.
Almost
you're going to get yourself in some trouble.
Almost did. Coming up next, we hear from the one and only Domantas Sabonis, and he talks about adding DeMar DeRozan to the mix. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Kevin Herter plays here.
It's Herter. He's been hot. He fires. He's still hot. Kevin Herter from downtown has a 15-point first quarter.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable.
The bigger hair and you do look taller, and sometimes it is that, but just his physicality and I mean, man, I saw he doesn't show off his vertical often, but I saw a dunk or two where I was like, yeah, there's that 42-inch vertical just randomly showing up. I think he's just going to be a monster.
Well, I was going to ask you
in the summer league setting.
Yeah,
he would have been a monster.
Right. Well, because I was going to ask you if watching Tristan Da Silva and Cody Williams, a lot of people like what they saw from Cody Williams, but specifically Tristan Da Silva that went 18. Did it at least make you think, man, it still would have been nice if the Kings went in that direction, or are you at peace with it now?
I think I'm at peace with it. I do ultimately think that it wasn't a very high ceiling swing, and I think that's kind of where I'm starting to feel a little bit better. I just don't think that, and that's more personal. I think Tristan Da Silva is really decent right now. I don't know how much room he has for growth, and I think Devin Carter does have not necessarily room for growth, but I guess I would just say being better than what I think he is already, which I guess is growth. But I just think Tristan Da Silva is going to come into the league. He's going to be a 10 to 12 point per game scorer, and I don't know if he's going to be more than that. I think Devin Carter could just be a completely not different player than what we saw in college, but the level at which we think of him as a player is going to be complete. Like, he was off the radar in college.
Right.
I think people are going to see him in the league and say, wow, like, yeah, this guy can be a really impact bench player or potentially a low level starter and really just a fun, Caruso-esque player. I kind of feel like people just don't have that in their minds that the Kings added that yet.
Let's get to Domantas Sabonis, who got tracked down by TMZ Sports as looked like he was at an airport. They always catch people at the airport.
That was the LAX, no doubt.
Yeah, they always are hanging out at the airport. That's where you can find the celebrities, including one Domas. And he was asked about the additions to the team and how it's going to change, really, the roster moving forward. That's what he had to say.
Just got DeMar DeRozan? How does it feel? That's crazy.
I'm excited. It's going to be a big piece.
Hey, he's an LA native, so, I'm a Lakers fan, but I want to see what he does. Are you guys thinking, like, sky's the limit?
No, yeah, we're excited. We're excited. He's huge. He's going to elevate us, so we can't wait.
What do you think? You guys already had one of the best records in the NBA. What does his play take you guys to a new level? How do you think his play would?
We already got Fox, we got Malik, now we got DeRozan who can get a bucket anytime. So, it makes life a lot easier on the court.
That's right. Are you guys planning on getting together? Have you hit him?
Yeah, we'll see. I just came in from Puerto Rico for
I saw that. How are you feeling, man?
We're good. It's okay.
There's always next Olympics.
Yes, sir.
Hey, well, look, man. Hey, I think one day, best rebounder in the league. I think one day you'll see your team all the way through. Thank you.
Wow, what a pleasant TMZ reporter that was.
Right, and being very
as far
nice.
As those go.
You guys had one of the best records in the league. I've been in those situations, where you say something and he's like, well, Sabonis saying, it's on the better
one of
end.
the best records in the Pacific Division.
Right. Yes, that's what that's what he meant. Yeah. So Domas obviously excited about the new addition. Chris, I see you with the shirt on and everything. And was I the only one, Simone? If you see this shirt that Chris has on,
let me see it.
Doesn't
it's new? It's new.
But I was kind of tripped out at the De'Aaron Fox mustache.
Yeah, that is a little disturbing.
He has a mustache.
Does he?
He definitely has a mustache.
All right.
Yes. Let me. I'll have to pull it up.
Yeah, fire it up. That one looks pronounced. That's all I'm saying.
It's like a peach.
It's definitely pronounced, but
mustache.
it had to be something.
Yes,
it had to be something in order for it to
distinguish him.
Yeah,
just give him his hairline.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I guess, but his hair, his actual hair used to be the. The defining piece.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm gonna rock that.
Anyone could.
By the way.
You should. Rock
I should rock that.
You would look good. might be a little difficult to put the headphones on, but you should rock.
Well,
I'm
that's
not
right.
joking. I'm gonna have to look it up. My little brother did that.
No,
yes.
The
for
one
senior
braid
portraits. Yes, it was.
That was a thing. It was definitely a thing.
For the senior portrait.
It missed.
That's crazy.
I was too old for that.
I'm gonna find it.
I'm too old for it now.
It's a good timepiece,
But yeah, I mean, Domantas Sabonis talking about how life is going to be easier on him. How do you think having DeRozan will affect the scoring load for Domas?
Yeah, I definitely think he's going to take less shots. I think Domas is not naturally a 20-point per game scorer. I think he kind of does that reluctantly. I think he's going to be somewhere near 16 a game. I think it's going to take a really major dip, not just because DeRozan. I think Keegan's going to take that kind of third scoring or fourth scoring role as well. I mean, we've seen it. Domas is best passing the ball. I mean, offensively, especially. No disrespect to him, but his offensive bag is pretty limited when we're talking about his shot creation, right? Like he's got really good footwork in terms of his post moves, but doesn't really get much separation on it. His shoulder, frankly, his shoulder is his best offensive weapon. There it is. I mean, it's lethal, and it does create space for him. But I just think that, I think DeRozan's definitely going to be this team's second leading scorer. I think Malik will probably be their third or fourth, and I think Keegan will probably be whichever one Malik isn't. I say that I definitely think Domas is just going to lean a lot into that playmaking role, and I think everything's going to work off of him, and we're just not going to see as many Domantas Sabonis 20-point performances, frankly, because he doesn't really need to unless he's cleaning up the offensive glass.
Yeah, and he can focus in on other areas where he's already good and continue to improve there. So I think it's going to be good for the Kings. Do I think that, I'm talking here very positively. Do I think the Kings are going to walk in and be the 1 seed? Nah, not necessarily, but I do think that this is something that they needed to do.
Yes.
To at least say that, hey, we're trying to move in the right direction here. And this might not be the final step, but it is definitely a big step moving on into the upcoming season. Coming up next, we continue the conversation on your Sacramento Kings, and we take it to other players that have dealt with labrum issues. I asked Chris, is this a thing? Has this been happening? We have some names that should make you feel better about one Kevin Huerter and Devin Carter. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SacktownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SacktownSports.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hardell Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more, plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by McKee Brothers, Clemmy Rooter and Inc. and Dawson Oil Company.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
Maida Chevy saves you $12,000 off MSRP on every new half-ton Silverado LT Turbo Max. In stock after rebates. Always 5 to choose from.
Exclusive. All in-stock pricing at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
See dealer for details. N73124.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Tales of the torn left labrum. So, Chris, this is a thing, huh?
Kind of, not super prevalent, I guess you could say, in the league, but it definitely has happened. And, I think the tough thing, as I was trying to look it up, is trying to find people who were in similar situations as Devin, not necessarily in the sense of the exact injury that he's going through, but the time frame, because a lot of the times, obviously, if you hurt your shoulder, it'll get diagnosed in the season, and then you miss time throughout the season, and that kind of ends up, like Kevin Herter. Kevin Herter tears his labrum during the season, and so it's kind of tough to figure out, okay, like where is the actual time frame on him, because he's getting the benefit of kind of missing or getting some of the pre-off season in his recovery time, where Devin obviously has surgery last week and is going to have to take the entirety of the off season. I was more trying to get a gauge on, okay, they say 6 months. Is that actually accurate? Do people usually come back within 6 months? And if you are going to miss the start of the season, how does that impact your time as well? Does it take more time because you have to kind of get up to everything you missed in camp? You kind of have to revamp a bit, versus Kevin Herter obviously is going to get all of those opportunities because he's already recovered right now. And that led me to one Pascal Siakam, who tore his left labrum all the way back in 2021. And he injured his shoulder on May 8th, much like Devin Carter, injured it during the season, but then didn't actually have surgery until the offseason. Siakam had surgery in mid-June. Obviously, Devin Carter having his surgery last week in what you could call early to mid-July. The Raptors offered an expected recovery and rehabilitation time of approximately 5 months from Siakam's injury, which put Siakam on the court as early as November in their approximation. He did end up coming back in November. He only missed the first 10 games of the season. However, did still miss training camp, did still miss preseason, obviously. And Siakam is also not a rookie. This isn't his first go around. So there is a bit more expectation of, okay, this guy knows how to prepare himself even without being with the team. This is from an Athletic article that was written about Siakam's injury here. The differentiating factor in timelines is not only does the labrum itself need time to heal, but you will have to get the strength back in the shoulder to be able to comfortably play the way that you would like. And this, I think, definitely comps more towards Devin Carter than it would for a guy like Kevin Herter per se, because even though Kevin did get injured on a drive, Kevin's normally on the perimeter. You're not necessarily thinking about, okay, I mean, the exact play Kevin Herter gets hurt on. I'm driving, somebody slaps down at the ball, whatever, there's obviously contact at the rim. Guys like Kevin Herter don't need to factor as much into that because that's not really part of their game. Devin Carter is diving for loose balls. He's, going to be finishing around the rim quite a bit. Might play a bit of more of a factor into his timeline. This is, again, from the Athletic article from 2021. While this being Siakam's non-shooting shoulder can allow for some optimism about his ability to get off-season work in, the off shoulder is the one Siakam uses most often when approaching contact on the drive or in the post, allowing him to better protect the ball in his finishing right hand, which, again, I would say I haven't seen a ton of Devin or watched, I guess, that closely on where Devin likes to initiate contact. But you could definitely, again, imagine if you're planning to take a right-handed layup, you're probably going to extend with that left arm. So Devin's going to kind of need to worry about that left hand. But I mainly kept that in there because I personally have said it's a shoulder. It's not his leg. So he can probably go through some preseason, some training camp workouts. That might not be the case. DeLon Wright, former Sacramento King, suffered a similar injury at Summer League in 2016. Ultimately, he underwent surgery. And this is, again, more so in this time frame because DeLon suffered it during Summer League. DeLon eventually returned in January after a stint with the Raptors 905 G League team. Let's see here. On one end of the spectrum, this is talking if you want to be negative or positive about the possible timeline of Devin Carter. On one end of the spectrum, you have a player like Dwight Howard, who only missed 6 games in 2013 and otherwise played through it. On the other end is Paul George, who missed the first 11 games of the 2019-20 season after having dual shoulder surgery in 2019. I'm sorry, I think I wrote that down wrong. I think Dwight missed the entire season. I don't know why it says only missed 6 games. He missed the entire season. Paul George only missed 11 games. If you're a pessimist, you look to Kelly Olynyk, who suffered reoccurring injuries, and Michael Carter-Gilchrist, who also went through a second surgery just 7 games after returning. If you're an optimist, you'll note those cases are somewhat rare. A 2021 study on arthroscopic surgery in professional athletes showed that NBA players have a more robust long-term outlook after shoulder surgery than NHL, MLB, or NFL players. Only 13 of the 46 NBA injuries studied were specifically labral tears, but the data shows almost no dip in availability upon return to play and only a slight decrease in performance. Among the 4 major North American sports, NBA players had the shortest average time and the longest post-injury career. So that's more for the outlook of Devin Carter moving forward. Again, Monte McNair on his actual draft day press conference did say they're not really concerned about how this is going to affect him long term. Obviously, sad that he's going to miss time in the short term, but that is, again, another good sign that for anybody who says, how did the Kings take the one guy in this draft who was injured and broken? Now there's a chance that he's not going to end up being the player that you even drafted. I think that should be a stat that helps to ease your mind that there's not really much, if any, dip in availability and only, if any, a slight decrease in performance after these surgeries.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear on all fronts. Obviously, you want Devin Carter out there, but you also want him out there healthy, right, and healthy enough to help the team improve and do the things that we've seen him do while at Providence, Friar, and all of that good stuff. But yeah, whenever somebody goes under the knife, it's going to be worrisome. I think that seeing that this has happened before, and maybe it's not a super common thing, but it has happened before, it should alleviate people like myself that were a little bit worried about this situation and what Devin Carter is going to be able to do, I guess, more specifically this season than moving forward. And, and what's crazy, Chris, is that tweet that he had as far as, man, I was dealing with this all season. So it feels like based on what he posted, he played last season with a torn labrum.
Yeah, that's the scary thing for sure. And scary in terms of, we probably could have been on the other side of this by now if he would have taken care of it immediately. But also, who knows if that did extra damage? Yeah, who knows? I should also make note that, like I said, that article from 2021, there have been some significant labrum tears since then. Definitely most notably, Ja Morant last season tore his labrum. That's the thing that when he did return from the suspension, ended up taking out the rest of his season. So that's definitely something to monitor. But like you said, Ja Morant is posting videos these days looking fantastic. Jalen Brunson is also somebody who has torn his labrum in his shoulder before. I don't think anybody has realized that since, but definitely is someone of note, especially when you're talking about how he's going to come back. Clearly, it didn't hamper Jalen Brunson at all. Benedict Mathurin has also tore his labrum. That kept him out for a good portion of last year. And Zach Collins of the San Antonio Spurs has also recently torn his labrum as well. I believe he tore it the last week of this past season. So still waiting to see how long that takes him for recovery. But I would say, I think you either said it on air or you joked about it off air, kind of seeming like it's becoming a Tommy John-esque epidemic here that we're seeing in the NBA, these labrums. And of course, Kevin Huerter as well tore his labrum. So don't know what that's about. Don't know if it's a way that people are defending differently now or something like that. If maybe people are swiping more at the ball like we saw kind of Kevin Huerter get injured with, but pretty strange that in basketball people are
it is strange
tearing their labrums this often.
It is strange, man.
It's very weird.
Did anyone notice what song I was playing in the background while you were chatting?
I was trying to figure out.
Trying to piece it together.
It's really bad.
I'm trying to think. Of
Isn't
what
that from a
song
90s?
Yeah, it's like definitely a mixed 96 song, as I would call it.
It's called Torn, you guys.
Okay.
You're talking about
I remember the song because it's from every 90s movie that I watched. Yeah. And I was trying to I just didn't know the name of the song. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. Someone definitely is singing that at karaoke.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I just couldn't let that
100%. No, I'm glad you said it because I heard it.
I knew there was a reason.
I know. And I felt bad to just ambush you guys with that.
Yeah.
But,
No,
you
it's
know,
fine.
there
We're
was-
professionals. You know?
I knew
That's why we make the big
A
bucks.
consummate.
You know?
I knew there was a reason. I just
Always.
couldn't tell you what the
Really
reason
bad.
was.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have bounced back with that. But I did want you guys to know my intention. And,
Yeah.
you know, for anyone who did notice that in the SAC chat or just listening, I really appreciate
That's
you.
good
and I'm-
work.
I'm
That's
sorry.
really good. That's a deep cut.
Yeah.
That is a
the
really
deepest.
deep
It's
cut.
torn.
It's and that's incisions. That's what we're doing.
It's a really sad song.
Great job, Simone.
Yeah, great job, Simone.
Mhm.
That's
I knew there was
master at
something,
work right
but I'm trying to listen to Chris.
I
and
know it's tough.
I know.
You got Torn in the background. I'm trying to Shazam it while I'm listening to Chris.
Like, Chris, just be quiet for 2.5
Yeah,
seconds.
hold on.
Need this
No
shit
way,
trying to
no way.
wake up
You were
real quick.
actually, that was really insightful, and it does give people a really positive outlook they can take from that as far as, you know, this isn't worst case scenario. There's a lot of, you know, demonstrated examples of people going through this, and we
plenty.
gonna be all right.
Yeah, and at the very least, whenever Devin Carter comes back, you got 12 guards anyway.
Exactly.
So you are not hurting. Now, if one of the boards or wings went down,
Trey Lyle's going down, then it's okay. Hold on.
That could be a problem.
How
But
long did you
guards,
say, Pascal?
make sure you feel good.
Yeah,
Make sure
I think
you're definitely where you need to be. All right, coming up next, we have some sound from the one and only Magruder.
Oh gosh.
Okay, Scooter Magruder, who does his best Kings impression. So we'll have some fun with that. Then we head into the land of the NFL, as some execs, or a lot of execs, scouts, and coaches do not think Brock Purdy is a top 10 QB. Also, Brandon Ayuk should take a page out of Kyle Juszczyk's book. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
What's the missing piece for the 49ers?
Which names will they add during free agency? Whether it's in season or off season, the coverage never stops. Get the latest 49ers news on Sacktown Sports at sacktownsports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Let's face it, nothing makes you look older than you really are than thinning hair. But what if you could not only increase your hair count, but promote new hair growth without surgery, without drugs with potential side effects, and without a prescription from your doctor? Well, now you can, thanks to a breakthrough new supplement called Hair Grow, provided by New Nordic, the #1 supplier of dietary supplements in Europe. Hair Grow is now available in the U.S. Only Hair Grow contains tocopherol, a powerful antioxidant that has received a U.S. patent. Multiple clinical studies show Hair Grow is safe and effective in promoting new hair growth. In one study, 95% of the patients using Hair Grow saw increased hair count. Don't lose more time and more hair. Try Hair Grow today to feel and look your best. Available online at Amazon, Walmart.com, and NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS. Look younger and feel more confident with Hair Grow by New Nordic at NewNordicUSA.com, or in stores at your local CVS.
Did you know about 1/3 of our lives is spent sleeping? Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. If we're going to spend that much time in our bedrooms, then our bedrooms ought to reflect our personalities. I remember many weekend mornings when our kids would jump into our beds trying to coax us to start our days more on their schedules than ours. Naturewood Home Furnishings' huge bedroom sale is here, and there's no better time to find the perfect accent piece for your bedroom, or even better, to start fresh by designing your bedroom to fit your lifestyle. From a new mattress and foundation to dressers to nightstands to lamps and more. Naturewood Home Furnishings will help you create a space from simple to luxurious and anything in between. Just drop by and let Naturewood's team help you envision a bedroom fit for 1/3 of your life. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable bedroom sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water rail. Right now, while you're sitting on the couch or just driving around, your friends are at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range powered by Top Tracer. The vibe is perfect whether you're an accomplished player or a newbie. Play a variety of fun games, play Pebble Beach, or compete against friends at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range. Hungry? The Hangout Food Truck offers burgers, chicken strips, and more. Check the summer-long free concert schedule. Be a part of the fun at the Hagen Oaks Driving Range, Fulton Avenue at Cap City Freeway, open until midnight.
Shop Folsom Lake Kia for special offers right now. I'm Coach Doug Christie urging you to visit my friends at Folsom Lake Kia and save big on your next new or certified pre-owned vehicle right now. Visit FolsomLakeKia.com.
He will react as if he is a certain fan. And due to the DeMar DeRozan news, I don't know if I saw him do one for the Sixers getting Paul George, but he did do one for the Sacramento Kings, where this is Scooter Magruder's impression of Sacramento Kings fans when they found out they got DeRozan and just the offseason in general.
I still can't believe we got Malik Monk back. You didn't even try talking to other teams. Is Monk the best free agent signing in Kings history? If Chris Webber didn't exist, this might be the best free agent signing ever. I'm getting a Malik Monk jersey immediately. We got him for so cheap. The real question is, does he start or come off the bench? There's no way Kevin Huerter still starts. Monk definitely would have started on another team. I love him. I'm glad Alex Lynn is back. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. This means Lynn is the backup and not JaVale McGee anymore. 1 year, we'll sign him to a multi-year contract. 1 year. We got DeMar DeRozan? Ain't no way. It's happening, bro. It's happening. Ain't no way. We traded Harrison Barnes? Oh, we'll miss the Black Falcon. At least he's going to a good situation. I think he'll thrive with the Spurs. We really got D-Rose? How did Kendrick Lamar know? I'm glad D-Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him neither. Monte McNair is in his bag. I might get a McNair jersey at this point. Now we got two closers on the team. Forget Gilbert Arenas. When has he ever said or done anything smart? It's onside if I see Gilbert. I know Gilbert ain't talking about ugly people. His name is Gilbert. Malik Monk, Devin Carter, and DeMar DeRozan? De'Aaron Fox played a pivotal role in recruiting DeMar DeRozan. What does the Fox say? My bad. I'm sorry. They not like us. They not like us. I don't know if I'm happy that we got DeMar DeRozan or that Chris Duarte is gone now. They not like us. They not like us. Is this real life? Hey, bro, you're lying. So are we out on Brandon Ingram then? So are we out on Kyle Kuzma then? I don't think we're done making moves. Whatever we do, I trust Monte. I can't wait for the season to start. We're going to be lighting the beam a lot next season. Why you going to talk trash and your name is Gilbert? What the? Crazy.
So I don't actually know if I am more impressed, as in I don't even know if and again, the video I think adds a little bit. Yeah.
I think you can paint a picture.
Yes, but honestly, I think it's the most impressive part is probably not the comedy, that he's just doing the research, because I think the most impressive thing is that he does sound like Kings fans. I don't know that it actually made me laugh.
He's emulating.
Yes, but he did say things that Kings fans say.
Yeah, for sure. He's definitely got some Twitter bots out there that follow all these.
He knew about the Gilbert thing. He knew about Chris Duarte.
Yeah. The HB thing is interesting to me. I feel like I'd like to get a straw poll on that.
And what
he was like, "Oh, HB's gone." Like, no, I'm gonna miss the Black Falcon.
Yeah, but he also said like he's going to a good situation.
No, I'm saying I think a lot of people are probably more in the Chris Duarte reaction side of that.
I don't know. It's tough.
People have been asking for HB to be traded every single trade deadline.
But they don't think there's really.
Oh no.
But they do really like, you wanted to keep the person but trade the player.
Sure,
if that's possible, which it is not possible. But I do think there's some people that are good.
Seems like it.
We don't know him.
Yeah,
we don't know him as well as we know Harrison Barnes.
I'm just saying, in terms of accuracy, that's where it felt like for a minute. Okay, might have swung and missed on that.
Okay,
that was the one where I really felt like I feel like a majority would have been like if you were truly going for the comedic route.
Yeah,
to me it would have felt like the HB thing would have been like, we finally traded Harrison Barnes after 5 trade deadlines.
Right. Yeah. Maybe you can, you know,
it's fine. Can't be perfect.
Co-write with him.
I'd love a percentage. Let me tell you, if I could get 5%, because to your point, I'm pretty confident Homeboy is just getting bagged out to do these for everybody.
Yeah.
Like Washington, I'm sure he's got a Chicago one
I'm
ready to go
sure.
for something. We gave up Caruso for what?
Yeah. Well, that's what. Yeah. And now that we've searched it, now others will pop up. But great stuff. Hey, you put yourself out there.
Yeah, man,
and,
for sure. I mean, 95% hit rate. Like
exactly
for a team that I'm sure he's not watched a single second of basketball.
Not
from.
one.
So,
not one.
That's fine.
Not one.
There's a couple drops in there for sure.
Yes. Shout out to Scooter Magruder.
There's a lot of people in the chat. I asked them to please raise your hand if you've made any of these comments, and there are several people raising their hands.
I'll have to find the one from last year because I know he made one.
He did a Kings one
guilty of
last
the Gilbert
year.
one off top, Chris.
1,000%. I mean, his name is like, come on, bro. Like, what are we talking about? What kind of
I'm
name
definitely.
is Gilbert?
I had that whole like,
Come
it's
on.
just gonna be different. It's gonna be different after we got Demar. So I definitely got attacked in that video.
It's gonna be different. Well, I do think it's gonna be different. Are we done? And Simone will chime in on this one. After the ESPYs and Serena, Crip walking, are we done with Not Like Us? Is it played out? How close are we to
I
Not
feel
Like
like
Us
it's
getting
getting
played
close.
out?
I feel like it's close. I feel like Vivek's Nothing Like Us definitely sent us.
Don't put
towards
that
the
on Vivek. Do not put that.
Why not?
DeRozan was in the music video. It made sense.
But nothing and nothing like us.
Yeah, nothing is very
I think that helped. I think that helped prolong it.
No, it definitely felt like when your parents are like,
some street cred.
"What's lit around here?"
Yeah,
Yeah.
What is
The
lit?
vibes.
What,
Yeah.
How are the vibrations, my children?
What is it? What? How do you do, young folks?
What's up, fellow young people? Like, come on.
Nothing
No,
like
that killed me.
us.
To me, it's like it's
Yeah.
definitely, you're getting it's like Father Stretch My Hands kind of reached the same point where it was like every clutch shot or thing like that. I still think it hits for sure.
Yeah.
I think it hits in terms of the clip more than Not Like Us. To me, Not Like Us is starting to get a little too mainstream.
Yes, and then at one point, I think this weekend, Lil Wayne rapped Not Like Us, but it
saw
was in
that.
a different way because obviously Drake is his guy,
Right.
And it's just very
I
confusing.
think he was doing the motto too. It was
Yeah,
it was
right.
very
He
weird.
rapped it during the motto.
Yeah.
Who knows what
Really
Lil
strange.
Wayne's got going on?
I don't think I'll tell you what, I know Lil Wayne doesn't know what he's got going on. Yeah, I feel like it's getting to the point where like if they were to do a View segment where it's like, yeah, here's Cheryl Shepard trying to act like she's Kendrick Lamar doing Not Like, I feel like we're really not far away from that.
Yeah.
Dangerously.
Well, you know what it is? It's going to be other sports, right?
Oh, for sure.
Baseball, Major League Baseball, if they do something with the Home Run Derby, we're going to be out.
Let's do a quick like litmus test. Like, how cool are your guys' parents? Do your guys' parents know about this song? Like, I don't know if my mom knows about
my
this song
mom
or
definitely
this
does.
drama.
My mom does.
My dad might know it exists. I don't know if he's ever actually heard it.
Knows it exists, but doesn't know if he's heard it.
Yeah.
Which I guess to that point,
But
might
songs,
not be as
it's
mainstream as I
confusing. Songs are different to, like when the dab was cool and then the dab wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
They're easier deaths with dances than songs.
for sure.
Yes,
Because it could be dead and it could never get to your parents. But you go to a game and everybody's dabbing and now
or the
parents
gritty, same thing.
the gritty.
Come on.
Dances are different. Songs are tougher.
Yeah. Songs have a little
Because
bit more
you
legs,
might just never hear that if you're not listening on the radio or if you're not on social media.
Right.
But the dances you just can't get away from because they're all. I mean, I guess Not Like Us is on a lot of, but it's not as specific, right? If your parents are on social media and you hear it underneath, it's not the same as what's this thing these kids are doing, or the floss.
Right. Oh,
remember the floss?
I was
They still have a floss and can now, the golden one.
They still have that.
Yes.
Sure do.
And it's sponsored, I think, so it ain't going away. I think I saw. Did you see the thing? It was the not tragedy, but it was the story of the floss kid.
Oh my god.
No.
And basically, it was
we
a story.
got a couple minutes here. We can get into it.
Basically, it was the backpack because he always had a backpack on. And basically,
is this going to be like a really sad ending?
No, not at all. Not at all. Basically, he just missed his moment.
Oh, okay.
Essentially,
I thought like both of his parents died in a car accident on the way to the arena.
His mom and everybody knows who this kid is. He was a little blonde kid, and he would pop up at random events and do the floss dance. Basically, he had a bag opportunity, and his mom and his manager said, "No, don't take this bag." And the floss just flopped, and it died, and no other bag ever came. And then after that, he's now he got a little bit older, tried to get into music, didn't pop. And he just regrets not just taking the floss bag when he had the floss bag. I saw that. Snapchat has those stories. I was on Amtrak, man.
You're still on Snapchat?
That was my first thought, too. I was like, I know that they have those. I've not watched them in 5 years.
I'll get Snapchats of baby Stiles, and that's really the only reason.
Okay. Respectfully, you're just not sending a video,
I was thinking that
and
too.
then you can save it. Why would the content
videos.
of your child need to be? I don't know.
It's a lot. It's high. There's a lot.
Okay, so high volume, but wouldn't you want to save all of that? We have big iPhones nowadays, and a lot of good ones. A lot of
Trust me, you have a kid. There are a lot of videos.
A lot of videos. I can imagine.
A lot of videos.
A lot of videos of my pet, so I can imagine. Dogs.
A lot of videos.
Snapchat.
You save it if it's a good one.
That is an interesting perspective. I'm going to look at you a little differently.
It's more about what has she been doing throughout the day? If I'm not there.
Yes. Right.
Just a check-in. It's not
exactly. I get that. Yeah. It's not like, hey, first steps. Oh my gosh.
But then once I'm done with the Snapchat, you go to the homepage and it says, the girl, the Chick-fil-A girl is now. Remember the girl? They'd be like, "What do you want?" There's just a bunch of different stories.
I have
Chick-fil-A
no
girl?
idea what I've been out of
the girl that was really
like
acting really, but she wasn't on Snapchat. Then you go to the story.
What in the world?
The Chick-fil-A girl who would be really weird to people. She's like, "Do you want any Chick-fil-A sauce?" And she got fired.
Chris, you don't know either? Okay.
No.
Nobody knows
like
the
you're
Chick-fil-A
kind of
girl.
describing like an NPC, maybe. Like I know that's big on TikTok these days. Like I know NPC Spider-Man. Do you know that guy?
Yes,
He's popping
I do.
on Twitter.
All right.
On TikTok.
We're getting out of here. I'm showing you the Chick-fil-A girl during the break.
Okay. I was thinking, real quick. I was thinking DeMar DeRozan for not like us, just real quick.
Yes.
Because they're going to do it, right? After he scores a point, they're going to do it.
No, but they don't have to.
But they're going to. They're going
but
to.
I don't want them
Can
to.
it just be the music? That's all I'm asking. Is that we don't need to have the not like
Nate had.
Just the no. No.
Nothing like
Please
that.
not that. Can we just do like the horn, the
nothing like that.
That's all we need. We don't need any lyrics. We don't need anything. That's how we can do it all year without it getting played out. Just right there. No. We don't need the sound or don't need the lyrics. We just need that. Just the
nothing like us. You think the Bay gonna let you disrespect Pop? I think that.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Coming up next, where does Brock Purdy land on your top QB list? Well, he's not top 10 according to these NFL scouts and coaches. Stiles and Watkins
on the move. Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
I didn't ask to be thrown in the streets with nowhere to go. I didn't think I'd survive. But I did ask for help, and Covenant House was there for me.
1 in 10 young adults will experience a form of homelessness this year. For these kids who didn't ask to be put in this unthinkable situation, Covenant House is there.
Covenant House helped me break the cycle of homelessness in my family. They gave me the love that I needed.
Over 2,000 young people will sleep safely in a Covenant House bed tonight. When youth who are experiencing homelessness have a hot meal, a safe place to sleep, medical care, and love, they can overcome heartbreaking challenges and have a brighter future.
They just really genuinely just wanted to help me succeed, and I'm succeeding. I'm a speaker, I'm an author. Covenant House really helped me and really helped mold me into the woman I am today.
If you or someone you love is asking for help, go to safeplacetosleep.org today.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
The Open Championship celebrates its 152nd anniversary this month at Royal Troon in Scotland. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. The game's top players assemble for a chance at the coveted Claret Jug. The Open Championship is about tradition, excellence, and class. And you'll find similar qualities at Naturewood Home Furnishings as they assemble the finest furniture and brand choices for your selection. When you visit Naturewood, you'll be amazed at the gallery of superior furniture available for your lifestyle, for your decor, for your home. This weekend during Naturewood's bedroom sale, you're sure to find the perfect piece you've been searching for. Naturewood is proud to bring you Open Championship updates on this station and proud to offer you the finest furnishings available. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the Watermill.
KHTK-AM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your new home for 49ers football in the 916.
Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento has a new tag team in the midday. It's Stiles and Watkins on Sacktown Sports.
I'm still trying to figure out if I'm washed or actually younger than both of you for having Snapchat.
It's a good question. I guess that would kind of make you washed because you're still
saying washed too.
It's kind of like, oh yeah,
Why?
Email me at AOL.
Now?
Hit me on my AIM.
Snapchat is old, is what you guys are saying.
Yeah. Hit me
You've
on my
grown
AIM.
out of Snapchat, or you should have.
You know
but
what,
you're there
though?
still.
But young kids still use Snapchat.
I was just about to say that. I do think that high schoolers, more so to keep the messages away from their parents, are heavily on Snapchat.
Yeah, that's what I'm confused about.
I'm saying, okay, maybe our definitions of washed.
Right.
I'm saying washed like you shouldn't be there. Like you need to leave it for this is a young game.
That's a fact.
Or young kids game.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm telling
you can't argue.
Well,
that.
well, tell that to my wife, not me. Okay. There are different uses for Snapchat, all right?
Okay.
And I showed you the Chick-fil-A girl.
No,
I showed you the Chick-fil-A girl.
I do have to apologize to you. I am familiar with her game.
I was very unfamiliar.
I just don't get how that you made it sound like it's a direct product of Snapchat, but I've seen her everywhere.
Yeah, I'm just saying they give you updates now on her life.
Right. Yeah. So you go to TikTok to find the original of her, but you go to Snapchat to see what she's.
Yes, and there's
so
some
she
hosts.
posts on her Snapchat, and it'll be like, "Hey, waking up in the morning."
Maybe,
like,
yeah. These are sponsored posts.
By whom?
Snapchat.
I think it's like BuzzFeed
by
or something.
Snapchat.
Yeah.
Okay.
BuzzFeed.
They'll
They had details on
ESPN
Bruno Mars.
And she's, of course, no longer
ESPN.
with Chick-fil-A. So
No.
why? Okay, this is just, I mean, a real testament to our society. But why do we care then? Like,
Yeah, we don't. I definitely don't.
but you do. You do watch her videos.
I don't watch her videos. I said they're available on Snapchat. And I'm already there from watching Baby Sal's videos. All right. ESPN came out with a list, and it was from friend of the show, Jeremy Fowler.
Hey,
he spoke
that's
with
right.
execs and coaches, and they cooked up a top 10 list. This was executives, scouts, and coaches. They had a top 10 QB list. 916-339-1140. If you want to be a part of the conversation, did they get it right or get it wrong? At number 10, Dak Prescott. At number 9, Jared Goff. At number 8, Aaron Rodgers. At number 7, CJ Stroud. At number 6, Justin Herbert. At number 5, Matthew Stafford. At number 4, Lamar Jackson. At number 3, Josh Allen. At number 2, Joe Burrow. At number 1, Patrick Mahomes.
Reed Shepard.
So you have Jared Goff at number 9, and Brock Purdy did not make the list. Dak Prescott at number 10. No Jalen Hurts either on the list. They were both mentioned in honorable mention. Chris, do you have any issues with this list?
Yeah, I do actually. I don't love it. I definitely don't love Jared Goff. Number 9, I understand they had a great season last year, but I think that's taking result a little bit too much into it. Like, I think that's not really I'm just not really a big Jared Goff guy. I think he's perfectly fine. I think he's near top 10, but I don't think he's in top 10. I guess maybe, with the results that they had last year, number 9 I can live with, but it feels like we're doing a bit of, oh yeah, Jared Goff, quarterback on a good team must mean that he is a good quarterback. And I just don't necessarily think that's
either,
true. No Tua on that list. That's a great point, because when he's healthy, he puts up better numbers than just about any of these guys. I don't think Tua's top 5, but if we're going to have a top 10 list, it feels like he should be close to that top 10. And then, of course, I do think Brock is the glaring omission there. Like, it's not like Brock, Brock to me had a better year than Dak Prescott. He had a better year than Jared Goff. Aaron Rodgers, I understand that you're giving him the legacy vote there, but with what actually Brock Purdy did last year, he just is a top 10 quarterback. I'm surprised that in 2024, we're still having this argument. It would have been okay to have it last offseason. I don't see how you can have it this offseason. It doesn't mean he's always going to be in the top 10 moving forward, but that dude just had like the best quarterback season a 49ers quarterback has ever had. I'm sorry, but like, I'm not a Niners fan at all, but I'm just saying that is disrespectful to not have Brock Purdy in that top 10. They can try and frame it however they want. I know they're going to try and say, I found some audio of Jeremy Fowler saying, "Oh, he's a top 4 NFC quarterback," though. That's not I think he's still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we do a good job on this show of giving opinions and listening to and giving our listeners a chance to kind of voice their opinions. But I don't want to do this thing where you pick and choose when you care about what these people think. And I feel that Niner fans, not to come down the Niner fans road, but why not? Because you get to hang out while Carmichael Dave comes down Raider fans road in the morning show, because you have all these aggregators, and we've talked about this guy before, Coach Yak, who is a huge Niners content aggregator, if you will. And he posts a list, and then at the very end, he says, "Imagine thinking Goff is better than Purdy." Well, here's the thing. We do this thing where if you care, if you like what somebody has to say, then they're as credible as ever.
Right.
If you don't like what they have to say, now they're no longer credible. This isn't ESPN writers. This is NFL executives, NFL scouts, and coaches.
Yep.
and coaches. And if you want to say the scouts because, hey, that's why he got drafted last, sure, I could hear you on that. But these are people that are much closer to the game than us. You can disagree with it if you want, but acting like, because we all have opinions, but they get paid for their opinions on NFL specific things. That's their job. They're executives, they're scouts, they're coaches. So I'm not going to ignore it and say, well, I disagree with it. I'm a Niners fan. I like Brock Purdy. Look at the numbers. They don't know what they're talking about. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to agree with it. But to dismiss it or to say it's not credible because you don't like it.
Right.
That's what I will always disagree with.
No, for sure. And
because when it's Kurt Warner, right? All of a sudden, Kurt Warner is the best thing since sliced bread because he was writing for Purdy. Right. So now everything Kurt Warner says is gospel. Amazing, but Cam Newton is a bum.
Yep. It's just a bust who never won a Super Bowl.
It's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah. Just to add to the point of the rankings and the process, this is from the ESPN.com article. A reminder on the ranking process: voters give us their best 10 players at a position. They do this for every single position. They have off-ball linebackers, receivers, and cornerbacks remaining still. So they give their top 10 for all the players at the position. Then they compile the results and rank candidates based on number of top 10 votes, composite average, and dozens of interviews with research and film study help from the ESPN NFL analyst Matt Bowen. Nearly 80 voters submitted a ballot with at least one position, and in many cases, all positions. Additional voting and follow-up calls with the surveyed helps us break any ties. So that's how they come to the conclusion of all of these. And yeah, to your point, I mean, it's not ESPN talking heads making these lists. These are the people who are actually in the industry, in the offices, in the war rooms, making those decisions, and frankly doing exactly what this list does, is valuing where you have these guys. And if these guys are telling us, look, I know fans are one thing, and in this age of fantasy football, everybody's obsessed with numbers, and Brock Purdy put up great numbers. But these guys think that those quarterbacks just bring more to the table than Brock. Who am I to argue? Who are we to argue? I will just push back on the. I personally do think that even as a player, I think Brock Purdy brings more to the quarterback position than Jared Goff. But that's just my Jared Goff not being a big Jared Goff.
Sure. And he is in your division.
He sure is. I didn't feel great about him when he was on the Rams either. But I would probably use that to point to, I mean, when he's on a good team and he's got talent around him, he looks awesome. And I guess you could say the same about Brock. But I just am a little bit hesitant to go from Jared Goff, number one pick, and then was like the ultimate, not bust, but definitely was not anywhere near to living up to that quality. And frankly, was kind of starting to lean towards a backup, and then finds a different situation. I mean, they literally traded him to Detroit to get him to that situation. To me, I've never really been super impressed by Jared Goff. He is a fine quarterback. He is more than capable of leading an offense, but top 10 as an individual, I'm just a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, I'm just not really sure how you can have that lead that Jared Goff had, lose that game, and be on a top 10 list, and not even be number 10. He's number 9.
Number 9, yeah. I'm okay with Dak being on there. Like, to me, Dak has put up crazy numbers. I think everybody has their frustrations with, him winning big games and things like that. But I mean, I would put a healthy Kirk Cousins above both of Dak Prescott and Jared Goff. Obviously, he's not healthy.
Quarterback that is Jared Goff.
I never said that. That's clearly AI. No, that's AI. That is AI generated. I never said that. I would have Dak Prescott above that Detroit quarterback.
I have an issue, or I shouldn't say an issue, but I'm very confused at this 5, 6, 7 situation. Okay. CJ Stroud, I know he is the hot name right now. And I like CJ Stroud a lot, but to put him number 7, who he had a really good season, I guess you can have him number 7 when you have Justin Herbert number 6, but I don't think Justin Herbert should be 6. I have an issue with Justin Herbert at 6. And I think I have an issue with Matthew Stafford at 5.
I thought about Stafford at 5 too. It feels a little high for me. Like, and maybe it's one of those where, hey, do the exercise. Who are the 5 that you have in front of him? That could definitely be the case, but it's just Matt Stafford, top 5 quarterback. He is incredibly talented and probably should have been more close to number 5 or top 10 previously when he was on the Lions, but it just feels like, especially with where Matt Stafford is at in his career, just putting him in the top 5 just feels crazy. It's just crazy to me that we don't have 5 quarterbacks that are better than Matt Stafford. And I guess I sounds pretty disrespectful to Matt Stafford, but we always like to give the caveat, no disrespect to Matt Stafford, but if you would have told me 5-10 years ago, there's not going to be 5 better quarterbacks than Matt Stafford in 5 to 10 years, there's no way. And so I don't know. I guess maybe it's the Andrew Lucks and the guys who were supposed to kind of be up there, never really, for whatever reason, living out their potential. But it's just shocking to me that we can't find 5 better quarterbacks than Matt Stafford.
If you're going to have Joe Burrow at number 2, and I really like Joe Burrow, but I mean, it's getting to the point where him staying on the field can be a question mark. If you're going to have Joe Burrow at number 2 when he didn't play, then you can have Aaron Rodgers higher than 8. That's how I feel about it. I think Aaron Rodgers should be higher.
Sure.
If you're putting Joe Burrow at number 2 when neither of them played last season.
Right. Yeah. I mean, definitely. I mean, I know there's definitely some hesitancy with Aaron Rodgers tearing his Achilles, but I would consider taking Aaron Rodgers with an Achilles again to that point, maybe even above Matt Stafford. Like, I think it's from a talent perspective, he could probably, even on a bum leg, give you what Matt Stafford is giving you.
I think if you put Aaron Rodgers at number 5, everything else feels a bit better. And I don't even know if I like Joe Burrow at number 2, to be completely honest with you, because of injury.
Yeah. And where did Josh Allen fall on this list? Was he number 3? Yeah. I mean, I kind of feel like, I know Josh Allen had a bit of a disappointing season last year, but I think that I feel like not enough people are talking about Joe Burrow's wrist injury. Everything I've heard about his wrist injury is that it is a straight up anomaly. Like, nobody can figure out how a quarterback got it. It's typically a lineman injury that he has. And a lot of people are wondering if he's even fully recovered from it. Like, it's a really, really weird case going on with him. And, a lot of Joe Burrow's success has come with a really great supporting cast around him. And, if he kind of loses that little bit of what he had, I just kind of want to see it with Joe Burrow to that point. Like, I wouldn't automatically pencil him at number 2.
Yeah, I would put Aaron Rodgers at 5, pushing Matt Stafford to 6, Justin Herbert to 7, CJ Stroud at 8, Jared Goff. Well, yeah, Jared Goff then goes down, or Jared Goff stays at 9, and then, Dak Prescott at 10. I think I'd be okay with that, but I also, between 9, 10, and Brock Purdy, I would say Brock Purdy you could definitely make the argument. The 408 is,
where's Gardner Minshew?
The 408 is saying your homerism is showing. Okay, well, I don't really know. Well, when we were arguing that Brock Purdy should be on the list, he is not a top 10
okay
QB. All right, that's fair enough.
Okay. Yeah.
From again, are you really riding that hard for Jared Goff when
that's what
Brock
saying.
just came back against Jared Goff and Dak Prescott didn't even get to the dance?
And Brock had the numbers too. That's the
Brock
crazy
had the
thing.
numbers.
Brock has the numbers.
I mean, look, it's the
I'm
same.
I'm not here to champion any 49ers out here, but I'm telling you right now, Brock put up the numbers. He had a ton of hater breaker throws last year.
But I guess to me, it's not even about whether or not you think he should be on the list or not. Pretending like he shouldn't be in the conversation, that is just haterade.
It is. It really is.
Pretending like he shouldn't be in the conversation.
Right. When we're talking about Jared Goff.
Yes. When we're talking about Jared Goff and Dak Prescott, and if you're 408 and you're maybe a Raiders fan, whatever you are, you probably make fun of Jared Goff and you probably make fun of Dak Prescott.
Right.
I can tell you right now, in terms of who would you be more afraid to face right now and in a game?
Yeah.
Jared Goff or Brock Purdy?
I would be more afraid of Brock Purdy.
I would too.
100%.
I would too.
That's 100%. I don't have any sort of doubt in my mind that, Brock Purdy would, and maybe some of that is factoring in the weapons that he has around him, but I just think I would trust that Brock Purdy could make my day a lot more difficult than Jared Goff, the individual, can. And, I'm surprised that we haven't seen a ton of people trying to champion up Jordan Love here because
I was thinking Jordan Love too.
That's all hype for me right now. Like, I know he had a good second half of the year and he did definitely have a good postseason run, but I'd like to see that for 18 games. I just
well, they don't have him. Yeah. They don't have him, but that's why.
No, they don't. Yeah.
But that's my issue with CJ Stroud being 7.
I'm okay
and I
with
like
CJ. Yeah.
I like CJ.
I think that's about as high as you can have.
From the 209. check the numbers. Brock did not have a better season than Dak. Dak was second in MVP. So we got, are you a Cowboys fan, 209? What's going on here? Explain yourself. Coming up next, we continue the conversation. Also, we get into a little bit of baseball with the Giants and their walk-off. And the Home Run Derby, that's coming up at 1:30. We bring back prop talk for the Home Run Derby if you want to earn some cheese on this beautiful Monday. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
The elite quarterback that is Jared Goff.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Are You? He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayuk is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
I'm a very active person that likes to move around and go. The pain I was in was really excruciating. It was actually debilitating. I was basically heading towards a sedentary lifestyle. I had really tried everything, but I quickly lost hope with all of the things that we had tried, and that's what led me to the Good Feet store. And when I found the Good Feet system, it really just changed everything. It brought me back to life. I have my active lifestyle back.
The Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Quick Quack Car Wash takes the drama out of keeping your car clean.
Let's wash the car. Don't spray the hose inside the car. Oh.
Our convenient wash packages make it easy to get your car soaked, scrubbed, and on your way. Protect your car from sun, rain, and pollen with a ceramic duck wash, and get our in-wash light show and an unbeatable clean.
Oh, the kids filled the gas tank with water.
Of course they did. Quick Quack Car Wash. Come in today and get 25% off any wash.
The following is a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
From the 9 to 5. From the 9 to 5. So you're saying if you swapped Goff and Purdy, you think for sure Detroit wins? I still put my money on the Niners. That's fair, 9 to 5. But yeah, so that's Goff leading that comeback. What the fluke to does the fluke to Ayuk happen? I don't know.
I just feel like it's not even necessarily of what I think that, yeah, I just feel like Goff is a lot more turnover prone than Brock is. And yeah, as quarterbacks, I think they're both high level game managers, but I think the problem for me is I feel like Goff turns the ball over more.
Yeah, it's always interesting when there's just kind of levels of everything where I wouldn't call myself, I wouldn't say that I'm terribly high on Brock Purdy, but clearly we're higher on Brock Purdy than some of our listeners from the 408. Maybe a Raider fan. I am. Get it right, my G's. Well, my G, put your name on it, and then maybe we would know who you are.
My G.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
From the 209 Niner fan, but it's pretty obvious that Dak had a better season than Brock when going by the numbers. Brock just has a better team around him.
I mean, yeah, I think that's fine.
I'm less prone to argue Dak than Goff.
Yeah, definitely. I think Dak definitely has more tools than Brock does. But again, I think the problem is in practice, I think Dak does turn the ball over a ton more than Brock does. And that's just kind of and you could definitely argue that Dak has to take more chances than Brock does. But yeah, I mean, I like you said, I think the quarrel is more with Jared Goff than Dak. I think a lot of people understand Dak and Kirk Cousins, again, have tons of talent. It's just both of those guys always end up coming short in the biggest games that they need. And it's not even necessarily about their numbers.
You got to love it when the youngest show in all of Northern California gets called boomers.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I've been called a boomer more than
We're probably younger than you.
Probably.
From the 530, there's not a team in the NFL that's trembling at the thought of Brock Purdy. I actually like Birdie more than Purdy, but
Purdy.
But my argument is there a team trembling at the thought of Jared Goff?
Definitely not. Definitely not.
We're not trying to put him in the top 5.
No, we're not.
We're arguing Brock or Jared Goff
Yeah.
and kind of Dak Prescott.
I mean, how many quarterbacks are you trembling at? There's like 3 for. I'm not trembling at Matt Stafford even.
Man, he's number 5.
And he's number 5. Like, I think there's just not. That was my bigger point too. Was that I just feel like for whatever reason I thought we were going to be quarterback rich at this point in time.
Yeah.
And feels like for whatever reason, there's the Mahomes, there's the Allen, there's the Burrow, there's the Lamar, and then it feels like there's pretty much a huge gap between that and everybody else, really.
If we're doing the trembling meter, I don't think anyone's trembling to Dak. I don't think anybody's trembling to Jared Goff.
Not as individuals.
I
yeah.
would put Aaron Rodgers way higher on the trembling meter.
Yep.
And I would drop Justin Herbert, to be honest with you. I would drop Justin Herbert. I don't know what to do with Lamar Jackson. I really don't.
I'd be scared of him. I'd be afraid of the potential of what he could do to my defense. But, how many times have you really seen Lamar absolutely go, college football nuclear on you?
Right. 916-339-1140. Let's get to JR. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, JR? What you got for us?
Yeah. What's up, young man? How are you?
Great.
We're great.
Boomers.
How you doing? How you doing, fellow boomer?
Hey,
how you doing, fellow boomer?
What are you doing there? I don't even know the generations anymore. Is there a Z in there somewhere? Xeon?
I believe so.
I think baby Stiles. I think that's Gen Alpha. I'm pretty sure.
Alpha.
Yeah.
Restarted.
I think that's the youngest one.
Oh.
Yeah, Gen Z is millennials. And
A
then there's Gen
millennial.
X after 1996 and
Yeah.
forward. Yeah. And then now
What are
there's
you,
alphas.
Simone? What are you, Simone?
I'm a millennial.
That's right.
Millennial.
Stand up.
90s baby.
Stand up.
Donut eating millennial. Way to go, girl.
What's up,
Hey,
JR?
I just want to. Dak did so well in the last 2 NFC Championship games.
Went off.
I am really afraid of him.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which quarterback was in the last 2 NFC Championship games?
That's right.
There's only one.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. And he's only been in the league for 2 years. And he has more wins than anyone we're all mentioning here.
Yeah.
So I would say you don't have to fear him, but I wouldn't bet against him based on his track record. I mean, the only time he lost was when Philadelphia illegally pulled his shoulder out of his arm. And obviously I blame Whitey and the afternoon show guy. What's his name? The guy that does the Kings.
Who cares?
LeBron James.
Who cares?
LeBron James, a.k.a. Kyle Draper.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys call him LeBron James?
Oh, that's what he calls
himself LeBron James.
Does his son work at the studio already? I'm confused. See you, girls. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I'm sort of LeBron James, of the station, trying to boost the rating.
I do like, thank you, Draper, a.k.a. LeBron. I do like the tremble meter, though. I do think that's a good.
It's good, yeah.
I like that.
It's a different ranking.
Yes,
sure. Yeah.
yes. I do like the tremble meter, that from the 530. Thank you for that.
I will say JR's point there about, nobody really, it's crazy. Not enough people really do talk about the fact Brock's only been in the league 2 years.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, everybody that is texting right now and calling in, they're all just going to say it's the same thing that we've been doing when it comes to the multiverse, right? It's put Justin Herbert on the Niners. What do they look like? Put Jared Goff on the Niners. What do they look like? So it doesn't matter.
Right.
What JR just said doesn't matter if that's your thought process.
That's true. Yeah. You can't get through those people.
And I'm not saying they're necessarily wrong.
Right.
What I'm saying is, what are we supposed to do with that information?
Right. Exactly.
That's the same thing people did with Draymond. Put Draymond on the Pistons, and what's his career look like?
I guess we'll never know.
We will never know. And that's not to say you're wrong.
No.
But we will never know. Coming up next, we get into a little bit of baseball talk. We also close the book on the Brock Purdy top 10 conversation. Stiles and Watkins, Sacktown Sports.
Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sacktown Sports.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence design test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Don't miss limited time doorbusters during Pro Savings Days right now at Lowe's. Starting July 15th for 3 days only, you can save $60 when you buy a DeWalt 12-volt multi-head drill driver. Was $189, now $129. Plus, get 50% off a DeWalt Tough Grip 110-piece screwdriver bit set. Shop these deals and more while supplies last. Because Lowe's knows savings, Lowe's knows pros. Valid 7/15 through 7/17. Selection varies by location.
Celebrate Sacramento Rivercats baseball during our 25th anniversary season. Pick your favorite weekly promotion, giveaway game, or theme night, and join the fun at Sutter Health Park. Stick around post-game every Friday and Saturday night as we light up the sky with the brightest fireworks in town. For a full promotion schedule and to buy tickets, visit rivercats.com. We'll see you there.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity Mobile. Connect to the most reliable 5G network nationwide. Well, even though Brent Rooker was certainly deserving with his 18 homers and 54 RBIs, the A's electric closer Mason Miller is the team's representative in the All-Star game. Now, he joins a list of 5 other Oakland rookies who have been named to the team over the years. Names like Wayne Gross, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Andrew Bailey, and Ryan Cook.
Want to save on some of the biggest names in streaming on the network made for streaming? Now through September 21st, get 150 megabit Xfinity internet for 12 months with a 1-year contract. And for just $15 a month, add the new Stream Saver that includes Peacock, Apple TV Plus, and Netflix for just $35 a month. Switch at Xfinity.com today. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. After promo, regular internet rates apply. Currently $54 a month. Actual speeds vary. Stream Saver requires Xfinity internet or TV and price subject to change.
18 number ones. What was I thinking? Countless ACM and CMA awards. Sold out world tours. And now, Dierks Bentley is coming to Sacramento for Country in the Park 2. September 28th at Hard Health Park at Cal Expo with Parmalee, Dasha, Kelsey Hart, and more. Plus line dancing, food trucks, and more. Tickets available now at CITVFest.com.
Brought to you by the Key Brothers Clubbing Rooter and Heat and Dawson Oil Company.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave inviting you to make the switch to electric this spring and save big with American Energy. Stay ahead of those spiking energy bills this summer with up to $9,000 in rebates on a new ultra-high efficiency comfort system. American Energy is providing huge rebates from SMUD as well as spring specials by installing one of many incredibly efficient AC options available to you right now. Get rid of those fluctuating gas bills in the winter and switch to year-round all-electric with American Energy. Let them perform a free in-home energy efficiency analysis and see where they can help you save for the warmer months ahead. These guys are the best. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Learn more by calling 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990.
Live and local, it's Stiles and Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Tying a bow, tying a knot on this Brock Purdy conversation. Then we're going to get into a little bit of prop talk. Yes, and this one is Home Run Derby Simone, are you ready? Chris, are you ready? Well, you better be. But first, 916-339-1140. Let's get to Javier. Wants to be part of the conversation. What's up, Javier? What you got for us?
How you doing, Mr. Stiles, Mr. Watkins? Just a little down today, man. I heard the Ross interview with McNair, and I just feel like, man, we always take one step forward, and then we'll take a step and a half backward. Like, I don't understand how they think that all what they've done is enough. Like, yeah, they'll be 7, 8, maybe 6, 5 at best, but they don't have any perimeter defenders outside of Keegan Murray, and De'Aaron Fox is a good guard to a certain extent, steals leader, etc. But outside of him, who are you relying on? The rookie's out for 6 to 8 months. Keon Ellis, yes, good formidable guard, but that's 2 out of 10. They have no wing depth. They have no forward depth. Outside of Alex Len, who's playing center? And you're saying, well, here's the core we're going to stick with, and that's what we're going to do moving forward. Like, what are you talking about? There's guys that can be had right now for a little to nothing. I'm baffled, man. It's just a letdown. It's just being complacent and getting too comfortable, man. Being content. I'm not saying you got to give up every pick, but that's a loser mentality, man. West is being in a position to be giving up right now. The Lakers are down. The Warriors are down. The Clippers are in shambles. Like the Nuggets just lost in the second round. We can play with the Timberwolves. The only team I really fear are the Pelicans. We played the Thunder well all last year. And if I'm missing a team in the top 4, please let me know. But I own the Mavericks. We played them well too. Right. With Monk, we beat them last year every game. And then overweight, out of shape Luka falls on Monk. I'm at the game, and all his fat weight fall on his knee. Outside of that, we beat them that game too. And it came down to the last step at one point. Like, come on, McNair, dog. Go get a Kuzma. Go get a John Collins, Cam Johnson, DFS together. Don't sit there on your hands and sit there and be like, oh, well, this is what we got. Do not be playing Rose at the 3 and expect our defense to be better and our perimeter defense to be better for that matter.
Yeah.
For real, you know what I'm saying?
Thanks for the call, Javier,
Absolutely.
as always. I think the one thing I would say is, to Javier's point of there are guys out there that can be had and it won't be that expensive. I would then ask the question, well, who and how do we know that? Because I think what's happening is what I complained about earlier in the show where all these Cam Johnsons and Dorian Finney-Smiths, those price tags are starting to go up.
Right.
We have a report, and we'll get into it more so tomorrow, but Jeremy Grant, the Blazers want 2 first-rounders for Jeremy Grant. And obviously Jeremy Grant is – and you have to pay Jeremy Grant's contract, which is not cheap. So I would put Jeremy Grant over Cam Johnson and Dorian Finney-Smith. But to that point, Javier, there's another report out. You know who else is interested in DFS and Cam Johnson? The Lakers. So if the Lakers are involved, so are probably other teams. I don't know. I'm not arguing to make a move or not make a move. I'm just saying I think the price tags are what's dictating everything. And Monte McNair does not want to overpay for anything. Now, if you want to argue with that and say, well, that's a little bit ridiculous, sure. But I don't think there's cheap value options out there that Monte McNair is just choosing not to sign. I think everything is starting to creep up in price, as it always does.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Monte just said core players too. He said the core is what we plan to bring in. And I know Javier definitely heard that, and he mentions the Kuzmas and all those guys. But I think that, he asked the question, who's going to play center besides Alex Len? Well, you can still bring those guys in. I think Monte never said he's completely done making moves. He just said he's done, really fixating on this core right now. And I think there's nothing wrong with that. We added DeMar DeRozan. We keep Malik Monk in that core. I think there's some element you could say of running it back, I guess, but I don't think there's anything wrong with seeing what those guys bring and what they still need. You to solve all of your problems in one offseason probably wasn't ever realistic. And it's probably also not the best way of doing it. You can't solve everything on paper and have it work out on the floor. You got to see things with your own eyes and then try and adjust. And it would be a real shame if the Kings jumped the gun, or I guess to not just Javier, but to tons of people's point,
right?
If the Kings make a move now and say, forget it. No, why wait to make that move? Go jump on the opportunity now. Well, what if you do and it wasn't the right move and you ended up getting a guy who was actually incredibly redundant with what you already do, and you actually should have pursued a Bobby Portis or somebody else who brings other things to the table. I think that's where I'm starting to see the Kings starting to send this thing is, hey, we're going to play a couple games here. And it could be the entire season. It could be all the way to the trade deadline. But to me, it feels like these guys want to see what these guys look like, and then they'll adjust. I don't think they've said, this is what it is moving forward, period. And there's not going to be adjustments. Get comfortable with your new Kings core. They're just saying right here, right now, we're chilling. We're good for right now. But they never said that moves aren't going to come later on.
Right. And the offseason is right. Who knows? Well, he did say going into camp, but again, we can get that depth, and right? But the Kuzma conversation, it's probably over.
Yeah.
And if that makes you, it doesn't make you happy, I get that. But doesn't mean they're not going to do anything. All right, Simone, let's get that prop talk music going. Dust the rust off.
Yeah, my goodness.
The prop talk music. It's been a while.
Hello?
Chris, I just saw something come in as the Major League Baseball draft. Jay knows a little something about that. Is going on right now as Jay is behind the glass for us as well, just hanging out. Dakota Jordan out of Mississippi State. Giants took him in the 4th round, and if you want to give him a Google, you'll see he's definitely my type of guy. That's all I'll say. I'm very, very happy with the Dakota Jordan pick. All right, Simone, let's get into some prop talk here. So depending on the app you are using, Pete Alonso has a free square. So we can't say which app, but you can find a free square somewhere. So we're not going to do Pete Alonso because I guess you still could, but we don't have to if you use that one. I'm looking here, guys. We all got to pick one. Jose Ramirez, Teoscar Hernandez, Alec Boehm, Gunnar Henderson, Bobby Witt Jr., Marcell Ozuna, Adolis Garcia. I'm going to go easy here. I'm going to take the easy way out. I'm going to say over for Adolis Garcia. 23.5. I think that's easy cheese. 23.5. I'm going over on Adolis Garcia.
I think I thought you were going to go this route, especially when you said the easy way. To me, I feel like the easy way is Pete Alonso. I mean, the dude's
if you don't take the free square,
yes. If you don't take the free cheese, then absolutely, I'm going Pete. I'm pretty sure I saw 25.5 on his first round. Pete's won it before as well, if I'm not mistaken. So he's very familiar with the format. The Mets are hot right now. It feels like it would be a nice little cap to the nice little run that the Mets are going on. I know they got the whole grimace thing happening for them. I could definitely see the polar bear taking another one. But I'm also really the guy I'm most excited to see how he performs, Bobby Witt. Yeah. I think there's a chance Bobby Witt takes this thing and just does something crazy.
Because he's a 5-tool guy, right? He's not just a power. When you look at a Marcell Ozuna or some of these guys, they're just power guys. But Bobby Witt is kind of the full deck of cards here. Gunnar Henderson will be interesting. I'm looking at these numbers. Somebody going under. I don't know who, but hopefully it's not who we pick. Simone, you got a pick?
Really quick, can you guys just confirm what Gunnar's cover is?
23.5.
Give me the over on Gunnar, please.
Is that his real first name?
That's dicey. Gunnar Henderson. Simone wants the over 23.5 on Gunnar Henderson.
Real first name. Wow. Gunnar Randall Henderson.
So it's not like a Buster Posey situation.
No, not at all. You would think, right? Like it's like, oh no, he plays third. He can gun people from third.
Yeah.
No, his name is Gunnar.
Why isn't he on special teams somewhere?
Probably, probably was. Depending on where he grew up, Texas.
Gunnar, our boy Gunner's from Montgomery, Alabama.
Oh yeah, he definitely was on special teams.
He tried to
probably a quarterback. Probably quarterback. He went going to state.
He was probably crazy.
He's going to state. All right, coming up next, we have Crosstalk with Whitey Gleason. Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins. Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead. Outstanding ball movement by Sacramento.
Every triple, every jam, every Kings win.
Sabonis with the jam over the Joker. He's got the three-point shot.
Get your Kings fix all season long.
Right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
Sacktown Sports at SacktownSports.com.
Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino. Sacramento summertime heat is back. And of course, Cap Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, wants to invite everyone to soak up some air conditioning, still with the most variety of table games in the region. And as always, the best food, best service, and the best action, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. Capital Casino, of course, reminding everyone to please make sure you gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729. Or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. They'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Watkins. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Here with Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys.
Can I ask a question?
Okay.
Why do I have to sit next to the used paper towel and the dental floss?
Oh no, that's headphones.
Oh, okay,
mine?
good.
Oh, it is mine.
All right,
I only have one AirPod.
Why?
So that's how I know it's mine. Well, actually, funny enough, I bought these for my girlfriend maybe like 4 years ago, and then she lost one of them, and she didn't want them anymore. And I was like, I'll take it.
Hey, she's got a birthday coming up, you know.
She sure does.
Yeah,
sure does.
I can't do the one.
This Saturday.
This Saturday. Everybody knows.
Right.
Everybody
That's right.
knows.
That's right.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I said it on Friday.
You're the only
That's
one
right.
not active listening?
Yeah.
Well, that was a long time ago.
That tracks.
I did know that. I just had to be reminded.
Mm-hmm,
By the way, if I may, Chris,
me too. Oh,
when I was starting out in radio, when they just invented radio, and they were trying to tell me, you're going to be on the radio and your name's going to be
together,
yes.
Right?
They said your name's going to be Stretch Bergmeyer, and I said no, it's not. And one of the things they came up with was, okay, how about Gunnar Gleason? To which I also said, nope,
I'm in on that.
Gunnar Gleason's good though. That's a decent rate. You probably
That's pretty good.
Yeah, Gunnar Gleason here. I trust that guy. I'll tell you what, Gunnar Gleason.
Yeah. Come on,
You
Whitey.
know, I don't know. Might have aged better.
Maybe I've missed opportunity there. Maybe
Could have been.
Whitey, are you excited for the home run derby tonight?
Nope. No, it's just kind of, I watch a little bit. It's so long, Ellen.
Yeah.
It's so long.
What do they even do? Like, what is the for? Is it the outs? Is it the time?
I think
like,
it's
I don't
still
even know what they're
time
doing
with the
these
timeout.
days.
I'm pretty sure it's time with the timeout. I'm pretty sure.
I'll be watching, but I'm kind of like the Kings are playing summer league. I might tune into that over the Derby. Like, I feel like you could definitely watch both without missing much of the Derby.
Who's the must-see player in the Derby? Is there anybody? Is it Alonso?
I don't think so.
I mean, if we
Adolis?
take out Alonso, then probably Adolis.
I would guess. Like,
it's like what happened to the slam dunk contest, right? If
Definitely.
Ohtani's in the home run derby.
Right. Everybody cares.
A couple of years ago when he was in Colorado, remember some people said, he's going to hit it out of the stadium. He didn't, but I watched.
Yeah, I think that's a good comp. The only difference is I can understand baseball players not wanting to do it because
this ruins your swing.
I can understand it.
Especially
Not
if
that
we're
I
talking,
agree.
these guys are hitting 50 home runs now.
right.
Like you could imagine taking that many home run chunks. Like that'll mess you
slam
up.
dunk doesn't mess you up in any way. It's not unless you're afraid
Maybe
of
3-point contest is more of like a apples to apples.
Yeah,
you know?
but 3-point, right? I guess you could home run. Well, here's the difference, Whitey. Back when we were playing, you were not supposed to swing for the fences. It was frowned upon.
Right.
Dude,
now
when
it's
I
not.
played, you couldn't even use a glove. It hadn't been invented yet.
Now it's not frowned upon.
Mitt,
Now it's not frowned upon. So is it really messing up their swings? That's how they swing anyway.
Right. Yeah.
To that point.
I don't know. It's just the All-Star break's a lot longer than it used to be. Home Run Derby is, to me, it's just kind of a curiosity, but it's hard to. The whole thing to me is a tough watch.
I still think Home Run Derby is better than the actual game. I think the game is rough.
For sure. I'll watch the Home Run Derby 10 times before I watch the All-Star game.
They're interviewing the whole time, while you're in the field. It's just
doesn't work.
It's rough. But I'll be watching. I wanted to get out there, Whitey, but I didn't get to. Or Vegas. Are you having FOMO not being in Vegas for Summer League?
No, I'm okay. I like being
at
home. I mean, I'm sure. I think maybe if Devin Carter was playing, maybe a little bit, a little bit. And some of those, I know you guys have been following it. Some of the guys like Reed Shepard, he's been playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm reading up on this format.
Sar has been playing well. Yeah, what do we got?
It's let's see here. So it just switched up this year. In 2024, the rules shifted significantly. Now hitters will either see 40 pitches or hit for 3 minutes, whichever mark comes first. For both first and semifinal rounds. The final will be 2 minutes long or 27 pitches, whichever one comes first. What? There will also be a bonus period, which has been overhauled in 2024. The old format gave hitters an automatic extra 30 seconds of hitting onto the end of their turn, with hitters able to earn an extra 60 seconds if they hit 2 home runs over 440 during the regulation period. Now the bonus period is untimed and grants hitters extra pitches. Each hitter receives an unlimited number of pitches until 3 outs, non-home runs, are reached. If a batter hits a home run of 425 feet or further in the bonus period, they receive a 4th out with which to work. So you can get bonuses on your bonus.
That's right.
The new bonus period allows hitters to get hot and have a chance to come back and win regardless of the first period.
When I covered the All-Star game in Oakland in 19... they didn't have the Home Run Derby yet. Well, it was part of a skills competition that they did on the Monday, National League and American League. And there was like running and relay throwing, and it was
not good.
That's the reason why they don't do it anymore. And then I think eventually one of the years somebody blew out his elbow in the relay competition. They said, all right, we're not going to do that.
Because I was thinking that too. Like the NBA skills competition sucks. Like it's not fun at all because they do too much. But like, could you maybe do hey, who can do the best? Yeah, I guess not relay, but like, hey, hot corner from third, get a fast ground ball and then throw it to first into a I don't know, like a net or something. I don't know. Is there something that they could do? But I guess that wouldn't. It probably sounds nice, but in terms of actual watching, I don't think anyone would actually.
Well, I hope you enjoyed, Alan. I hope it's a memorable Home Run Derby. I don't know who has won any. Didn't Josh Hamilton win the Home Run Derby once? Griffey, I don't know.
Josh Hamilton actually never won.
He never won?
He was almost a Zach LaVine.
Yeah. Yeah, he pretty much was.
That's what I'm thinking
of Home Run Derbies. And Whitey, before we get into a little bit of basketball here.
Oh, we're in it.
No, we're really not. We're waiting for something to happen. But the execs, NFL execs and coaches, it got a little spicy on the text line when we kind of gave our thoughts on the top 10 list with Dak Prescott at number 10. So the whole thing was Brock Purdy being left off the list. Dak Prescott at 10, Goff at 9, Rodgers at 8, Stroud at 7, Herbert at 6, Stafford at 5, Lamar at 4, Josh Allen at 3, Joe Burrow at 2, Mahomes at 1. No Brock Purdy there. And, it's still a polarizing topic as far as, is it Brock Purdy? Is it the team? Should he have been on the list? The biggest gripe was probably Jared Goff. But, yeah, what did you think about that?
Bottom line is, if you're the 49ers, you would rather have Purdy than 2 or 3 guys on that list, right? If you're the 49ers.
I would agree.
Yeah. So, really, it's home run derby day, and we still got to trot out that old, that old topic.
You don't like home run derby.
Not you.
But derby.
Yeah, you just said you're not watching a home run derby day.
And I know you're not the one that came up with it because it was what was it NFL.com?
No, it was ESPN. Jeremy Fowler, friend of the show.
Brock Purdy didn't make the top 10. Yeah, come on.
When is this going to stop?
Better than that.
Or is it going to stop? It might not ever stop.
No,
it's just a content gold line, man.
It really is.
Yeah, 3 Super Bowls. He's the worst quarterback who's ever won 3 Super Bowls. That'll be the narrative.
I like that.
I like that topic. Can we do that?
Let's rank the other
205
ring players.
Please.
And then people go, I can't believe they still don't give any credit.
Goodness
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
No, it matters. It matters.
I can't wait to get there.
Last but not least, all right, now we'll let you get back to some basketball, Whitey. As far as the Kings are concerned and Devin Carter with that labrum issue, what were your thoughts on? Really, were you surprised that the Kings went in the direction? Did you think they knew it was going to be this quote unquote bad?
First of all, let me just say, if the Kings keep it up like they did in the first game, they're going to have a new sponsor. It's going to be a French bakery on their jersey because all the turnover.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
but
right.
Anyway, got to wait for the laughter to subside and clear. I appreciated what you guys were saying about the timetable, recovery timetable. I just saw something. I looked at it a different way. And I just looked last week on MayoClinic.com, and they said for like real athletes, 4 to 6 months, could be 4 to 6 months. So to me, there's a real chance that he'll be ready to go much sooner than 6 months. I mean, we don't know exactly what's in there, but then if you're the team, you put it at 6 months, because that way you don't want to end up saying he'll be back in 3 months. Oh, he's not. Cause then it sounds like,
something's wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And then couple that with the stuff you guys went over that Chris had all the research. I'm feeling optimistic about it, but yeah, I think that is probably one reason why he slipped to 10th.
Yeah. And that's what Monte McNair kept telling us. And it feels like they knew that this was coming, but from the outside perspective, we didn't. Last but not least, speaking of Monte McNair and really the biggest story, which is almost a non-story, but it is a story because of it being a non-story. Monte McNair saying that they are likely going into training camp with this core.
Mm-hmm.
Kings fans not happy about that, Whitey.
Yeah.
Not happy.
I saw Christopher Watkins, I think, tweeted that out today. Is that why I saw that?
Never seen
on
it.
X?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what he's got to say, though, right? Then you watch. Tomorrow he'll be announcing the signing of Robert Covington. Here we go.
Hey, now, Rocco.
I'm not against
any
Robert Covington. All right. Well, you got Whitey Gleason. Who is it? Is Draper with you?
He's not. He's with us in spirit. He's in Las Vegas again today.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. So we'll be hearing from him. So me and Jay.
There you go.
In our Sacramento studios.
That's right.
There you go. You have Whitey Gleason, Jay, and
Home Run Derby.
Kyle Draper. Getting you ready for the home run derby. Mm-hmm. This has been Stiles and Watkins. Thank you to Simone. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. We'll be back at it tomorrow. And until then, secure the bag, light the beam.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sacktown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown!